What's up? You already know who it is. It's the denim. All right. And
Oh,
who else am
ew.
I with?
Hi, it's Sebastian. You already know me. I'm his other. So, what's good?
Okay.
Shut up. And
Who?
today we have special guests with us. To our bottom, we have I, Christine. And myself.
Yeah.
Lang.
Period.
And
Thank
then
you for
if you
having
want to
me.
say yes, you want to say hi, tell the peoples, who you are, but we all know who you are.
Hi. Well, for those who don't, okay, we've proven that there are people that don't.
Oh,
My name is I, Christine. I am a global dominator
period.
in progress.
Yeah.
Um, I have a gaming channel, I have a React channel, and I have a podcast that a couple of these people have been involved with or may still be involved with. So shout out to you guys.
Mhm.
And, I'm a host, I'm a coach of being a content creator, singer, writer, producer extraordinaire.
Period.
Yeah.
Just that girl
I'm
overall.
about to say, at
Period.
the end of the day, she that girl. She the mama. She
Uh,
is. She
Yes.
is.
Now,
This is really great for the ego. I'm going to tell you, this is really great.
and then we have Destiny. Destiny, if you want to, say who you are, what you do.
And then we have another special guest. A shout out to Miss Destiny Celine.
Now,
Destiny.
now
Woo!
I'm just here on behalf of RDC. You know, I'm their lawyer today, so
Their
yeah,
lawyer.
yeah, because the girls was trying them.
Yeah, they don't need a lawyer today. Well, if they do, they got at least two. Let me tell you,
Period.
I've been fighting
I'm
all
bringing
day,
them
but we'll
down.
we'll get to that.
And then we have
Okay, we'll
another
fight.
one. Oh, we have another special guest. His name is Eliminate.
Period.
Ah! Ah!
Woo!
Ah!
Oh my gosh.
Woo! I love
Oh
these
my
intros,
gosh.
man. I love them.
Hello, y'all. I am Illuminate, also known as Nate. Please do not call me Elite. Thank you so much. I greatly
Oh,
appreciate it. I am a
Wow.
streamer. My name is the same as it is on Twitch, and I am a backstage singer. So there you go.
Okay, well, boom. All right,
Period.
well, y'all already know why we're together here, because I put it in the title. But we're here to talk about DreamCon. Yes, we've all went to DreamCon. It just happened. Ooh, last
Dream
weekend,
on.
2023. Stop playing with the peoples. And I know for me, it was my first time going to DreamCon. How about y'all?
this is my first convention ever.
First convention as well.
How about you,
Oh,
Christine? Was that your first?
this is my
Or
no, not my first
second?
convention, but my second DreamCon. This is
Oh,
my
okay.
second DreamCon. But as far as the convention base, I've been to a bunch of conventions.
Hmm.
Comic convention like Comic Cons like Tampa, New York Comic Con, gaming conventions like PAX. I'm gonna be going to GCX, which is in Orlando next week.
Oh, dang.
Ooh.
She said,
And
I'm
then
not new to this.
DreamCon,
I'm true to this.
She's
right?
looking
Yes,
busy.
hello.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then VidCon as well. So I've been to a bunch of different cons of different types of conventions as
Oh, you're
well.
gonna have a great
Perspective on like
yeah.
Yeah.
comparisons. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to this combo.
Okay, so I guess let's just start with Thursday. That wasn't a convention day, but a lot of people showed up Thursday for registration,
Hmm.
getting any hotels and stuff like that. So like how did y'all, what went on? Because that was an
RDC
eventful
Live
day
was
for me.
Thursday too.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Hmm.
I would say for me, okay, so we had to fly, of course, to Austin, Texas. And the flight that we was on was little. There was water dripping out the plane, at the top of the plane on on
Absolutely not.
Did y'all fly
Sebastian.
Spirit?
Not
No, it
Spirit.
was Delta.
Not just a flash.
Hold on now. Hold on.
It was
Hold on.
Delta.
No, it was Delta. It was just a small plane, but it was kind of ghetto. And then what did we do? Because we met up with people from Christine's Discord.
Yeah, we
So we
met
met
The
up
up.
with
community, Buddy Nation. Shout
yeah,
Mhm,
out to
Buddy
y'all.
Nation. We
Lang
met up.
Lang.
We went and got our car. Then we went to the hotel. We stayed
Hmm.
God organized it, all that, and then we all went to go get our badge. Um,
Yeah, our
the
badges at
hmm
registration.
I was late.
but
I got left.
that
Yeah, you was late. That's okay though.
that was something else. It wasn't horrible. I've been to a few lines to get badges at certain things, and it wasn't bad. The line moved quickly, and for the most part, everything seemed to organize. It's just that it was so much people that I think
Hmm.
they weren't prepared for that many. So it
I think
seemed
they
a
were
little.
prepared.
It was an in and out experience for
Mm,
me.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty
Okay, so
quick.
I
you
would.
got there
Well,
when no one was
you were
there.
gold or platinum. So here, I want to jump in on this because I do feel like, and with this, everything I'm going to say is constructive criticisms. As you guys know, like with everything, I can find a fair way to express, what I think about the
Hmm.
the experience. So as far as being at a bunch of different conventions, the pros of this is that the line did move, like it was moving. I'll say
Hmm.
that it was moving. However, I do feel like the where things definitely could have been better is that so when I went to the line. Mind you, the escalator was broken in the hotel.
Yeah.
So taking my little legs and walking in the heat and 100-degree weather to the Hilton and then going up the escalator, girl was out of breath by the time I got up to the top, right? And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
being up there, the line, for those who didn't know, by the time I got there, it was wrapped around, like, because it was in this big hall room, which is where you could get your badges, but the
Hmm.
line was wrapped like around it and then around it again. So it was like
Who is
Yes.
walking in the circle
lasagna?
Yeah.
around it. And then the problem though is
That's
that there
J
was a
Dog.
guy that would walk
Oh,
through, and the guy would walk through and just say, okay, gold and platinum badges come through, gold and platinum badges come through. So what he was doing was picking up those who had the gold and platinum badges,
right.
taking them out of the line and ushering them inside. So
Hmm.
for me, I had a press badge, and
Hmm.
I stood in that line like out of breath, legs
Right.
tired after the flight and everything. But when I got inside, I saw that inside they had it broken up,
A
and there was
separate line.
right for ADA badges. So for those who
Hmm.
needed like assistance type of things,
Hmm.
you had the press line, the gold, the platinum line, and I think like regular lines. There was
Right.
no line for press, so I waited in that line for no reason.
Right.
So
Right.
if it would have been, as far as a constructive thing, the guy that was coming through picking up people, if he also was like, hey, okay, press line,
Right. He should
like
have said like, if you're not regular,
right,
everybody else.
essentially. Yes, yes. Like, hey,
Not
do you have a
regular.
regular? Do you have a like yeah, I think that that's precisely it. Like if he had
Right.
said, "Hey, press gold, platinum, all right, come this way and we'll get you through." Then I would have been it would have been in and out for me, but at the time that
Right.
I got there, I was waiting in the line regularly, and I was when I got inside, I was like, "Okay, I basically waited in this line
For no
No
for no
reason.
reason.
reason." But
Oh, what I
again, I will like
forgot.
to say that I do agree that this year is larger. Last year was 6,000 people. This year was 22,000 people for
It
registration.
was actually 28,000
28,000.
people.
It ended up being 28.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Which
wow.
is a huge jump. So for anybody
Mm-hmm.
to go from 6,000 to 28,000, there's especially with line and getting
That's
tickets and
over
stuff
four
like that.
times the amount
Yeah,
of people.
there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be
Mm-hmm.
little things. They're like, oh, I didn't think of that.
And it's their first time at this place. Last year
Yeah.
was in
Right.
Hmm.
Arlington. This was Austin. And yeah, it's a way larger place. I kept getting lost. I There was a lot of time where I was
No.
like, I don't even know where I am right now. I need to
So for
find.
the
No.
first day, I forgot for registration, we were having trouble finding where to register.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like we were like, well, where do we like? Do we go to over here? Do we go over there? And then like we saw people like walking a direction. We were like, oh, is that where it is? And they were like, oh yeah, keep going down there. And I was like,
We
oh,
were okay though. We were told by someone in the group, I'm not gonna say their name, that there would be a registration place in the actual hotel as well where we could just walk over and get it.
I
And
don't
that was
think
not
I
the
was
case.
told that.
Who told you
No.
that?
Yeah, who said that?
Bree.
Hmm.
No, she said that the hotel employee told us to go to level 4 to go to the bridge across to the Austin Convention Center where you could do it. But the thing was, like, first of all, it was the second floor of our hotel. I don't know where she came up with the fourth floor, but it was actually the second floor that was the bridge. But you still had to go outside
And
and
walk
wrap
to the
around the
It was
entrance.
a,
building.
it was
Yeah.
a whole different thing.
Right.
Mhm.
So that was a little confusing, but once we got there, it did move quickly. The escalators also were like not moving for us. I
They
don't
Yeah,
know
going
if,
to hell. They going to
they was
hell for
on and
turning them
off.
off. I'm too big to be walking up them goddamn
but the
escalators
thing
again.
The
is, I'm
escalators were
thinking
on and that
about it,
AC was turned off.
and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, it does kind of make sense to turn them off because there was such a long line.
Huh?
Hmm.
Like there was
I
a line
mean, but
going down the
like,
There
you
was a
still not
escalator.
gonna
long.
have
So
me walking up them. I don't care if the line was short.
Oh, so is
Short
that
of that
why?
time.
That because the line was so long and people might have to stand on that,
I
they
don't
There,
know. They turned
turned
them
it
on,
there
off?
turn them
was.
off, turn them on, turn them off. There were people
Come,
there, they were off. There were people not there, they were off, and then sometimes they were on.
The
It just
Hilton
depended.
just
And
touch our
yeah,
this.
yeah,
we'd like to say that that was a Hilton
Yeah,
decision, not
Yes,
a
that was my dream con. That
DreamCon
was the Hilton
decision.
being rude.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
yeah.
yeah.
And fatphobic, but I digress.
Ah!
And short leg phobic because like
Yeah.
them
Yeah,
escalator steps is not the same as a regular step. Okay, it's like
Right.
walking a 2-story building every step for me. Okay.
right. So what else happened Thursday? What did we do Thursday?
We
I
went
can't
to the
remember.
Korean barbecue.
We
Oh
Yes,
Girl.
went
yeah,
to.
we
we
did.
Yeah, and we did do that little taco place. But we're not gonna speak on that.
At
That's
Um,
why the Hilton going to
all.
hell for real because them tacos.
Disgusting.
I could have ran out on the bill.
Anyways,
I'm not gonna
but
lie.
so the food in Austin on Thursday, the only one I went to, I only ate once that day, was the Korean place. And does anyone remember the name?
Gangnam
Gangnam
Gangnam. I
Korean
kept
Style.
wanting to
barbecue.
call it Gangnam Style, so Gangnam
that's what I
Gang,
called
yeah,
it.
No.
I
Gangnam.
call it Gangnam style. That's what I
It's
called it.
it's Gangnam.
I bet say
Ah,
Gangnam.
as
It's
K-pop
gonna be
ah.
listeners
Gangnam
say
Gangnam
style.
Style.
It's gonna be
Gangnam,
one of those.
like the place.
Oh,
My
Gangnam Style.
lasagna
You're
said
right. You're
very
right.
Hilton Jacobs projects.
No.
Oh Lord.
Shut up.
But no, that was good. The food was good there, so I was glad about that.
The
Um,
vibes were good and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
it
like
was
yeah,
to say
fun.
and I mean when we have the podcast on Monday, I want to talk about this as well, but like safety. So I had a Uber take me from like I went and showered and got ready. And I had an Uber take me from my hotel to the Gangnam Style restaurant for us
mhm,
to have the food. And while I was in there, the lady was like, "Oh, so are you here by yourself?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm with friends. I'm actually meeting up with them now. They just got there before me." And it was like a lot, like there was a few Ubers that were doing that. So it's like for anyone traveling to another city for a convention, like even if you are by yourself, make sure you always tell them you're meeting up with somebody because the amount of people, the amount of Uber drivers that were asking me if I was here by myself, that's
yeah,
uncomfortable. Why do you need to know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
sure some might have been conversational, but that's not the case for everybody. And they're like, that's how people get taken and missing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for
right,
those who are coming out, make sure if they ever ask you, "Hey, are you by yourself?" "Nope, I'm just meeting my friends. They just got there before I did. I'm on my way. They know I'm
yeah.
coming." Like
It
make it
was great.
very
Yeah,
clear.
they know I'm coming. They're
Yeah,
expecting me
like
in 20 minutes. Like,
hello, and if I don't show up, they will come get you.
They
Okay.
have my
right,
I
like,
shared my trip.
location, so watch your back.
And I shared my trip every time. If I was in the Uber by myself, I always shared my trip, and I would send it to my husband. There was I think one of the times I sent it to Jazz. I was
mhm,
like, somebody knows that I'm somewhere.
right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just
Okay,
don't
so
walk in the woods to chase a child, but yes.
uh-oh.
Now,
Stop. I'm
is
telling
she in the jail?
you, that mother
It's
that mother
not
is
real.
not real.
Hmm.
Okay, so
But
Friday.
Thursday was pretty easy, so that was
Oh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
Thursday was also RDC live.
Yes,
Not
Oh
gonna
RDC
yeah,
skip
Live.
yeah. Go ahead
how
and
that.
did
talk
you
about
like
that.
that?
I
What
didn't go.
I had a
Um.
good time. They could have just had a bigger space for the amount of people
Yes,
that were there.
definitely.
But other than that, I had me a cute
And who
little
was
time. It was
there? You
real
said
cute.
Lotto was there and the Tia
Lotto.
Kareem.
No, Lotta was at the after party on Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But the Tia Kareem was there, right?
Yes.
Yes, Tia Corinne, she was there. She gave us
For
2 songs. I
Thursday.
was like,
Hmm.
yeah.
how
Mhm.
sad I miss Lotto.
Get the
Anyways, Clayco. But okay, so the next day was Friday, and that's when they
Oh wait,
had
hold
the
on. I want to talk
welcome, right?
about RDC Live. So
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Um, so for me, that was a fun experience. I mean, it was my first time being in like a booth or a section.
Hmm.
Shout out
Uh-oh.
to my friends; they're
Yeah, we
Not
amazing.
for
seen
that.
you. Yeah.
You
Shout out
ain't
to
see
AI
nothing.
Mm,
It was
Christine.
AI, Chris. It was an AI that was
Is there
there.
anything you want to admit?
I will admit, that I smiled while I was there.
Wow.
I'll admit that I held the Bible straight to my chest and just did a little side bop. That's what I did.
I'm gonna let
Okay.
y'all believe
I
that,
don't
but I
know.
got her tea. Don't worry.
I don't
It's
know.
all right. We both do.
Right. Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a very fun experience, and it was, as far as a kickoff, it was a fire kickoff. I will say a lot of people went a little hard and it was fun. Um
Yeah, it
but
was a
yeah,
little ghetto, like the people. Yeah.
no, well, I
No,
wasn't saying they're ghetto.
bye.
I meant like people were partying hard and having fun. It was like such a cut loose moment before the convention. So it was a lot of fun. Our RDC live was fire, pretty fire.
Okay,
Yes.
period. All right, so I'm going through my emails. So Friday, I know that's what the big stuff that they had on Friday was like the welcome,
They
The crew
had
party.
the
The
crew
crew
the
party
Opening
on
crew
Friday
battle.
night.
ceremony,
Yeah, they had the crew battle. The family
opening
funeral was Friday. Yeah.
ceremony.
right?
No, oh
Um,
no, Friday was some bros versus RDC. Yeah, for the
and then
crew.
they had also the basketball stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do y'all want to say about that? What do y'all want to say about Friday? Because it's the first
Mm.
day of the
Oh,
convention.
let's
Mm.
Let's talk
that
about let's
crew battle
uh,
situation.
hold
Let's
on, hold
That
on.
crew battle pissed me off. I'll say that.
Before we even talk about anything inside, them lines on the outside was
Crazy.
absolutely crazy.
I
And I
felt
get it.
Yeah.
Like,
so bad for them.
yeah, it really.
It
She
was
said
confusing.
I got let in immediately.
It
But
was.
Wait,
you
hold
so
on. I do have a question though, because at first I was like, there was no reason for it to be that long. But then thinking about it, I'm like, they had security and they only had so many security. So I
I
guess the
can
only way to make it quicker is have more security to get people
I'm about to say
scanners in
I can
Right.
see
quicker.
why it
Yeah,
took so
that's
long,
it.
especially with the amount of people. But it was just so
I
hot, and
was,
the
Hmm.
line there was two lines wrapped
yeah,
around the building that
yeah.
they
There were two
almost
lines.
touched,
That
and it
met.
was just like,
yeah.
oh my! I'm like, come
Because it was
on, no,
confusing because
Yeah.
nobody knew which line to go
Ours
in.
was a
Right.
little shorter because we kind of went around the back way. I don't think
yeah.
Yeah.
people knew that the line was going that
Nah,
way.
nobody knew
They
because they
didn't
was
know about the
confused.
two
I was
entrances.
asking like, y'all can pat me down, do whatever you need to do, let me inside.
And also,
You
I feel
so
like they should have let the platinum people go in first, like an hour earlier, and let Golden come in like 30 minutes earlier, and then let the regulars come in whenever, after that.
You keep saying regulars, that is so elitist. You
just say
disrespectful
Sebastian. Just say Sebastian.
for real. Knowing good and well that I tried to purchase them things and they wouldn't let me.
Well,
So I'll say this. For so here's kind of the thing. They did have early access. Um, and so like and this is I will say, like, I mean, at the end they did a lot of things and they're growing, they're learning. And like there were things that even me and other creators didn't realize, right? So they did have early access, because even like we were like, man, it would be nice if they had early access so we could walk the floor, because it would be difficult when we want to, because I love exhibit halls and like walking the floor, and it was difficult to do when you get stopped every 5 seconds, which again, I didn't mind that. It just made trying to traverse through there a little bit more inhibited, when you're trying to buy stuff.
Mhm.
Because I love going through the expo floor, going through the artist alley, seeing the products, seeing a lot of the
right,
comic books, making connections. I got, like, the first day I only got to go to 2 booths, and I was like, hey, we've got a podcast. You want to be on the podcast? Like, inviting
right,
some of these vendors to be on the podcast. So I only got to have, like, hear a little bit of a conversation, but some people would be waiting while I'm talking to them so that they can take a picture with me, which again,
yeah,
I want to state is no problem for me. It would just, we were like, it would be nice if we had a time that we could go and walk the floor, and
right,
then, like, just to experience the floor and then be able
Mhm.
to take pictures with people after.
Hmm.
But I looked in the app on the last day and realized that each day they had an hour early. So like exhibit hall early access on Friday was from noon to 1, and
Yes.
then and
I
for
saw
and
that.
then
Yeah,
on Saturday and Sunday it's from 10 to 11, and that was for the gold, platinum, diamond people, guests, press, and industry. So I think that even though they had a before you go thing, I feel like a lot of people didn't read it. So it's like a thing for next year, maybe another video, because I know even Af, he had done like a video kind of saying like a couple things before you go,
Yeah,
but
I saw
maybe
that.
like an additional thing, maybe from the official DreamCon social media, just to remind people, because they did put that out there, that there was an hour that these people could have came early, and that would have helped the line a lot better if the gold, platinum, press industry people all came in, or most of them came in early. I think it would have helped later. Not crazy. I mean, it would help some, but there was still like 20. You guys said 28,000 people throughout the
Yeah, that's
weekend.
crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I would like to say
there's only so
too,
much you could do.
with the lines, it also would have been better if, I mean, people are out there orderly, making things move a little smoother. Because you have people jumping in and out. You have people
Yes.
claiming that they know somebody, and all of a sudden they in line.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Are you talking about me?
Actually,
You can
hold
talk
on.
about me.
Yeah,
We can
hold on,
definitely
hold
do
on.
that. Hold on.
I don't.
Now,
I
hold
don't
on,
need
hold on, hold
them.
on, because
I
I'm gonna
don't
do that
need
either
them
way. But
doing
I'm
that
just
too
saying.
much because we took advantage of that quite a few times as
We
well.
did,
So
yeah.
I don't want
For
to be like,
dodgeball? Oh
don't
yes,
let
yes, we
Well, I
definitely
wasn't going
did.
to
these
talk about that,
people
but
skip.
No, but
Don't
I
let
will say,
because we were
so
kind
I
of.
get that, but I agree that there should have, outside, there should have been like, hey, this is the, because even if there was like an entrance, like there's like what, 4 doors to get in, right?
Yeah,
So if like
Mhm.
if like the right door was gold and platinum, the left door was
Right.
general access,
yeah,
that would have helped the lines move faster when you got there, because
Yeah.
they could have separated those things. And then, you wouldn't have to do the whole, hey, I know this person that's got a gold access,
right.
let me come and stand in line with them, to help at
Mhm.
least alleviate some. But I will say, going to PAX a bunch of times, going to a bunch of different conventions, there are always lines outside. That
Right,
Mhm.
Right.
for
like
anybody
that's
who's like,
normal.
oh, it was there shouldn't be a line outside. You probably have not gone to a convention, a big convention before, because
Right,
there are always, even
Mhm.
Tampa Bay Comic Con, every convention has lines outside all
Mhm.
the time, especially day one. It's worse on day one. It's even worse on day two, typically, because Saturday is the day that people aren't working. They're 9 to
right.
5s. People are out of school. So you have the kid traffic coming
Tugging them
through.
arounds, right.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Nasty.
but yeah, so like it's you're gonna have a lot of lines. So for anybody really upset, like, oh my goodness, there are lines, there's always gonna be a line outside, no matter
Mhm.
how
Right.
great you do this.
Mhm.
Like y'all better get on that stairmaster and let y'all legs get used to it, cause you gonna be standing. Like that's a convention. You're
It
gonna
wasn't
stand.
that bad of
Yeah.
a wait outside though, so I'm not.
Yeah, it
I'm not
wasn't
It,
that
complaining.
Right. It
bad.
wasn't.
it wasn't
It
that
was
bad.
just it was the fact that it was just hot.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like it just felt longer sometimes, but it's like it really wasn't
Yeah.
that long.
And
And
Yeah.
then
again,
people
they
were
had
melting though.
everything moving in an orderly way, so that everything was still moving to where you weren't standing at one spot for 30 minutes. So I
Yeah.
agree.
Right.
Yeah.
The only
Mm-hmm.
thing I had an issue with was like the start point. Where does this line start? Where does it end? How do we get
Right.
in? That was the only
They,
issue with, for
the
me.
thing is, I think all of the volunteers were inside, and they could have doubled the amount of volunteers for real, and they could have had
Yes,
some
that
Mhm.
made
volunteers on the
more
outside saying,
workers.
"Hey,
They
this
could have
is
got
da da
rid of some
da."
too. No shade.
They
You're so ugly.
That's
true.
all
No,
shade. That is all
she got a
shade.
point, because some of
I
them were
agree.
just there to have fun.
Some of them was
I don't blame them.
some of them was
Oh,
a-holes.
well,
I will
I
say
know
that.
me. They would have been like, "Can you go get outside?" I was stood by one of them doors and been yelling, "Hey, stop that!" Because it's
Hey,
not
hey,
Oh
hey,
my
hey, calm
god.
exactly.
that
I'm
down.
not
Okay,
going
okay.
outside, but thank you.
Let's talk about the welcome and the what's it called? The verses, the crew battle.
The crew battle.
Child, that was.
That crew battle pissed me off.
Oh,
What?
I had a good time. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
I
almost
should
fought.
have
I will
enjoyed
say
been
that.
I
her.
had a good time, but I just wish, and I hate to do this to color people, but let's start on 10.
Yeah, we
Let's
gotta
just
start on
start
Yeah.
on
time.
10.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so I will say this as
yeah.
having inside information. That's actually not 100% their fault. I will
Okay.
say that what I can say is that sometimes setup things get changed last minute, and
hmm
it can be from a different for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
And there were some last minute changes that were not their fault, that they had to, even though they tried to fight some of those changes or decisions, in the
Okay.
end they had to do what was said. And because of that, then it was like, okay, now we've got to change our setup and get ready and stuff. So that one, I can vouch for them, was not their fault. It was
You know
situational
what?
stuff that
And
they
I'll
All
had
I
I
can
accept
think
that.
say,
I'll accept that though.
to.
I mean, I can
Because I'm
accept that.
like, with a convention, there are a lot of moving pieces. There just are.
Mm-hmm. There are.
And they're just gonna be things out of your control, and yet it may not be the perfect experience for the people watching. But I'm like, if you're doing the best you could do, that's just all there is. Like things are gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
Mm-hmm.
gave
I will
them
say.
the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, all I can say is that I almost got in a fight at crew battle.
Oh my god.
So
Are you
Nice.
Why?
serious?
Wait, what happened?
because
Hello?
because my thing
Nita.
is, I
Nita
understand that
Team
things
Nita.
happen. I understand that things happen, and sometimes you gotta change things at the last minute.
Right.
But my whole thing first there wasn't no guidance
Oh,
on
is he
where
talking
we
about
needed to
I know
go.
the
volunteer?
styles. Yeah.
There was no guidance on where we needed to go.
Yeah.
And when we finally went like to the back of the line where we needed to be, next thing I know, we see people running. So we like,
Yeah.
okay, what's going
Hmm.
on? And so now we've heard, okay, they made a line for gold and platinum. And I'm like, okay, sure, okay, we gonna go. And we get up
Mm-hmm.
there, they telling us that we're gold and platinum to go back in the back of the line where the regular were
Oh,
again. So
Oh,
now I'm like, okay, so now you told me to get out of my space in line to go in front of the line to
go
go
back,
right
Rosetta
back.
Stone.
And
Mm-hmm.
then now one of the volunteers just opened the door and say, okay, now everybody just come in. So now everybody just, regardless of whether you platinum or not, it just coming in and
Mm-hmm.
running.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, since there's all this chaotic going on, let me just go with the flow and let's just go with it. So we had one of our other people with us, Jane. She was already in line. We had told her like, come on, girl. At this point, just come on. But she wanted to stay, and she was trying to get you, but she was all the way in the back. So right when we get in there, we already sitting down. There's a seat for her. There's still a lot more seats left. They closed the door on everybody and said, well, you can't come in no more, regardless of whether you registered or didn't register. You can't come in.
Were
And
there
so
seats left?
I
there were seats left.
don't know,
There
honestly.
were seats left because then they started letting people come in through the gaming area. They can't let people coming through those
The
doors
gaming
and
hall.
those,
Uh,
yeah, the
you
gaming
know
hall
what?
because it's in the
I
same area.
understand though, because that wasn't fair. Because the people, because it was confusing at first when you were trying to register. Because like some people were like, you try to register for the welcome and for the crew battle, but it only let you do
Hmm.
one or the other because the
Yeah.
welcome was where the viewers room was for the crew battle. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure they were like, wait, what? Like we wanted to see both. We thought they were going to do it here or whatever. And so I could see them saying, okay, we'll stop them and let some of them come in. So
Hmm.
yeah, they could have handled that a little bit better
When
too.
we got
Yeah.
on the line, they told us that the power had went out in the little Mountain Dew thing.
Yeah, that's what they
So I was
told us.
like, oh. But when we went there, it was mad people in there. I'm like, y'all was just sitting in the dark.
Right. No, so I saw them. So they were upstairs getting merch that we had pre-purchased, and I was like, oh, let me go up there and get my little shirt. And they were already letting people in, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went up there, got the shirt, came back down, and then they weren't letting people in, and I was like, what? Y'all already let people in?
Yeah, and then the
Right.
volunteer was like,
Yeah.
okay, if you're going in platinum, come to this side.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
the
I
other
will
And
lady
say
was
that
trying
they
to
did.
argue with him, and I'm just like, ooh, y'all gonna let me in either way because I pay my money. So
Wait.
yeah. And my thing was that when I asked a volunteer, like, was that going on? Or, hey, this is what's been said. This is what's going on. Can I get like some type of confirmation, regardless of whether you know fully or whether you don't? You could just let me know, like, hey, I don't have all the details. I don't do it. But no, you didn't do that. Instead, they just tell
So
me, oh,
here's
what then we can do about that.
here's the thing that I
That's on
think could
y'all.
help that for next year would be for the volunteers that are in charge of an area to have a walkie, because
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
what
yeah,
would
Yeah.
happen is you
And a
have
microphone.
person, yeah, and a megaphone. You have person A who is making the decision that tells
Mhm.
person B, that tells person C, that tells person
Right.
D. And then
Hmm.
by the time it gets to person D, let's say there's a
It's
change.
wrong.
Well, if there's a change where somebody, right, because somebody, if person B, C, and D, and now D is like telling everybody, all right, go over here. And then the plan changes from person A for whatever reasons that it may be. Now, when it gets to person D, I can totally see a volunteer being like, you know what, there's all this confusion. Let me just get these people in type of mindset. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
just like, let me help them out And then that's where there's mixed things. So I think it
Yeah.
for next year, and I know they tweeted about, like RDC and them had tweeted, Mark had talked about this at the closing ceremony, how there were issues with the lines and stuff, and they're going to work on their communication for next year. I think
Yeah.
having walkies can
Mhm.
be very helpful, because then that the minute things are set, okay, this is the plan. All right, hello, blah 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 blah. Everybody, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. It would make it better. It would make it more
Yes.
seamless.
Yeah, they touched on it at their panel on Sunday too. Because there was a lot of people in there complaining about their badges and just like everything in general.
Right.
Well, I
Okay.
will
But
say
how was the actual?
for the first day, the badges kind of didn't mean anything.
Right, and that set the tone for the whole convention because
Yeah,
people
and
like you registered, you being registered didn't mean anything. Your badge didn't mean anything because at first people were in line. That first event we were in line. We're trying to figure it
Mhm.
out, but
Mhm.
it didn't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
So how
Oh
was
my
the
god!
actual
Oh
crew
my
battle
god!
though?
I fell asleep.
Now you took somebody else's chair. They should have kicked you out.
What the crew battle? I had well, I know
I
I
had
had
fun, but
fun.
I fell asleep.
I had fun.
I will say what got me is so they were over at the first stadium where they were talking to everyone, doing whatever. That's all cool, nice, um, great. But then they had that little come over to the actual gameplay to where everything was at. I think they should have started at one place where they were going to play the games, had everything set up, ready for them to go, and then just do it. I felt like the whole being or starting not on time and then them walking over and then playing the game just took up so much time where it's like, all right, if y'all was just there, had everything set up already, and then was ready to go, it wouldn't have been so daunting,
Thing.
I guess to say.
So for
Yeah.
like the I would say, I know, like, so kind of stating for those who may have went or didn't know, like the main stage was where you guys were talking about the opening ceremony happened, and then right next door to it is the gaming hall, and that's where they had the battle. And that's also a room where there were all these stations where you could play. And that's a room I wanted to go back to, but I didn't have time to. I didn't get a chance to. But that you could like play. They had like mad computer games there, like
Yeah.
PS5s were there. Like you could sat and just play
Yeah.
games. And I really wanted to do that week. There was just a lot to do.
Mhm.
But I will say, like, I like there was because I think there was a plan at one time to just do it in that main stage, because last year that's what they did. Last year the main stage in Arlington was the same room that they had the crew battles in, and that's the same room that they had the 1v1s. It's the same room they had all those things.
Yeah, that would have been
And
best.
Mhm.
at one point there, that was the plan for this year, for
Mhm.
them to do the crew battle, that because normally it's in the past it was just a Smash Bros like 1v1 competition type of thing between the two crews, and that was a plan for this year. But again, some changes that again were not the initial plan, and things that they had to do, because you have like a lot. The thing with conventions is you have a lot of people coming together, right? So you have you have RDC making the convention, you have sponsors involved, you have staff involved, you have the convention center involved. So there's a lot of pieces to build this cake. And when some of the pieces have a certain preference and you could go back and forth, at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. And that is where that there was delays because of changes that had to be made. But
right.
again, the starting late on the gaming thing, that is not their fault. But
Yeah.
I can
think it just
understand waiting
happened at
is
the
a
worst
lot.
time because it was like the
Yeah.
first big event.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
get that. I
Yeah.
get that.
So what else did y'all do Friday? Because I
We
don't even remember.
we did
Um,
karaoke.
that was Friday. I thought that was Saturday.
No,
No,
that's
Friday we
Friday.
did
Yeah, that was
karaoke.
Friday.
Yeah, we
Oh.
did.
We had a good little
And
time.
I could say the loudest was the Sebastian.
They was giving performance.
No,
Yes,
okay,
it
Now
was.
let's go on and clear that up.
Kind
That
of.
we can stop using those descriptives.
Ah!
The loudest, you meant the best.
Oh,
hold
I'm
on,
just-
yeah, all right.
there was a lot.
hold
I'm
on.
just
Next
no.
topic, 'cause no.
I
no.
wait.
I
Sebastian,
did.
he
No,
was
no.
giving. He was giving
So
vocals.
I
He
do
was
I
giving-
do think I do think that we were the loudest. But the thing is, in karaoke, you're supposed to be loud. Like we do karaoke on Discord, and I be hearing people. And then when we got there, everybody was all shy. All of a sudden, it was me, Sebastian, Yanni,
Exactly.
and Destiny. We were the only ones really singing.
I'm
I'm about
about
to
to
say
say
I
I
y'all
was
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 giving
sing-
my
dead
heart.
quiet. I
I
was
was
looking for
I
singing,
Nate.
feel
I was
but
like
like,
you
Nate, where
have
you at? Where
to.
you at?
I
I
was
feel like
in.
you
My
have
voice was
to.
low.
You
I
have to
was
like
singing.
get louder when you're doing it in
Right.
person.
Yeah, I was singing.
And
I
also, I
some
just
songs I
wanted
just didn't know.
Also, I wanted to say I did because I know I have such a superior voice.
Oh
I
Lord.
did
Mhm.
I
Well,
did
speak
specifically
on it.
choose not to sing every song so
Huh?
that the people with the
Wait.
raggedy voices and all that
Oh,
Now,
scary
I
you
thought
just
you
sung every
sang
saying.
every
song, and
song.
it's okay.
I
Right.
did
well,
not sing every song. Don't be
You
out here.
I
definitely
don't know
did.
No,
about
I
that,
did
but
It,
I
it,
tried to make everyone have fun. So I was up there
Sebastian took us
playing
to
around.
church. Yeah,
Exactly.
hmm
Do you
I
guys
Yeah.
have
put
video of the karaoke? What?
I
Because
think
I
Jane
think
does.
We
I
have
have
okay.
some.
some.
I have
Yeah.
two.
I have some. I only have one that I sent to my mama.
not
She
Jenna
like,
put the
y'all look like
Facebook
y'all
girl.
had fun.
I have them. I have to save them from Instagram, but I definitely have
I about
I
to say
some.
do
I want
know
to say
CJ might have
Ash
some
put.
as well, so we
Oh
gotta
yeah. He
contact
was
Ray.
Oh
taking
yeah, because he be
he was
taking
taking
videos and
right.
There
And
stuff.
I
should
Yeah.
be
love.
a Discord group thing. I mean, y'all might have it. I might not be in it, but like where you drop a lot of the pictures and the videos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we have
Yeah.
a DreamCon memories chat thanks to Lasagna. Shout out Lasagna in the chat. Yeah,
Put the
Yeah.
please, Jada.
But that was fun. It's the only thing I was taking away from it. It was like everyone is pretty
Speak up, man.
quiet, and if y'all do like a karaoke night in Discord, y'all usually more. I hear more
Loud.
people. So I
To
was
be
I
like,
get
honest,
being
Yeah.
nervous in front of a crowd because I was
I mean,
nervous too. Like, I mean, unless you are, if you liquid courage, unless liquid courage is involved,
right.
They were
a lot of
drinking.
people.
well,
Oh,
I'll say in
whoa,
my
whoa,
I'll say in
whoa,
my
whoa.
defense,
You putting
I
our
was
business out there is
hello? Why are
crazy.
you
Hold
putting
on.
everybody out
I
there?
You
was.
They
I mean,
alcoholics.
were.
You
I mean,
alcoholics.
I would say in my defense, yes, I was drinking, and
sinners,
I am proud of that.
sinners.
I was
But
drinking and singing because
I
that's
was
what
trying
I
to
do.
find
That's who
food
I
because I
am.
was hungry. I was
But
trying
that
to
is
find
great,
food.
man.
I was
Yeah,
hungry.
He
I
wasn't that
give you
hungry. He wasn't that
I
hungry,
was that hungry, and then I did ask, like, "Hey, was there cheetah girls? Was there this?
child.
Was there that?" Nobody would answer me, so I just kept
Are
quiet.
you sure he wasn't? I
Cause
think he was.
cause
Oh no.
I definitely asked, like, "Hey, was there cheetah girls? Was there something else?" I wasn't really getting much of a
I
So
response,
will say
so I
this
didn't
let
say
me
nothing.
say that
location. Or
let
go
me
ahead. Go
say
ahead.
that the karaoke place we went to did not sell food. They allowed you to bring in food and drinks and alcohol
Mhm.
because they didn't sell any. So I
I
would
wonder
say
if
I
this is
like
the same
that.
place I went to on the last night. So Sunday night, a group of us
Was
went,
it
and it
in like a
was,
strip mall-ish
It's
yes, and
kind
there
of?
was like a
it's
Korean
called
place at
Austin
the end.
Karaoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
place. That's the
it.
That's
place.
the place.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
had a
okay,
bakery
okay.
next to it. Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
know if because when we went, it was like late, so I don't. It was the shopping area was closed down, but
Closed,
I could
yeah.
see like right out the window, right across from it, like in that same shopping area at the end, looked like a Korean grocery store or something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
probably.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably leaving to the
I
same
think there
place.
was a
Yeah.
Okay.
couple of Korean spots over there. So yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a Korean shopping place
And I
unit.
will
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
Like
So
in
then it was
general, yeah.
probably the same. Like the letters were in green on the shopping grocery store.
hmm
I forgot
Yeah.
the
Okay. I think
name.
it might have been the same
I
place then.
forgot the name, but it was a restaurant that started with a P, right, like to the left of it. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We don't
when you
know.
turn in there,
and
yeah.
this
Yeah,
karaoke place wasn't had a big catalog of popular songs. I would say.
They
So
had
it
older music. They didn't have a lot of the new artists. Like they didn't have SZA's last album. They didn't
like they
have
had
recent
They
some
had
new
Kill
karaoke
Bill,
stuff.
but that
music.
was it.
They had some new stuff, but
Yeah.
not something that you really want to probably
Yeah.
yeah.
karaoke
Out of
over.
Renaissance, they
Okay.
had Cuff It. And I said, "Oh, the one? Okay, well, that's all right."
I to finish my
The
to
one.
finish my thought before my computer disconnected me. I
Oh
was
Lord.
saying that first event set the tone for everybody rushing the doors, not really staying in
Oh, well,
line,
yeah.
trying to just
Yeah,
like jump line, and that just set the tone for the whole thing. But
But
that's all I gotta say.
also, I gotta say that did set the precedent. But I also gotta say, knitters are gonna be knitters. Like,
They not gonna listen. They tell you one thing and you gonna
right,
do the other.
right, because we're
Mhm.
not on it yet. But that
We'll
dodgeball
get to
line,
Saturday soon. Saturday will be
I
there.
will. And I will, say that even though they say knitters, they mean people in general. Because like
Yeah,
same thing will happen at other conventions and
right,
Maybe.
stuff like
right,
that.
right.
No,
Same
not no
thing here.
right?
maybe. I would say
Oh
it's
my
definitely the
gosh,
case.
yeah, we need to get to the dodgeball thing because I got some things to say about
For real.
the white knitters that were behind me.
Oh yeah,
Girl, I
I,
literally told them that they was not gonna get let in, and they still stood in the line. That's not my fault.
shit.
Y'all
And
want to
I said,
listen.
look, and I was looking at them like, y'all really think y'all something that y'all gonna get in when y'all not supposed to
They
get in?
really
That
thought
is
they were
so
privileged.
disrespectful that
They
you
were
think
like,
that you are me.
I
That you
tried to
think
be
that
so nice about it. I'm like,
no.
I don't want y'all
She
wasting y'all
did,
time
and
in
y'all
the
know she ain't
line.
nice
They only letting
though.
in gold and platinum, and they
look,
still stood
Well,
then
there.
I
What the
don't
hell?
they
think
put the badge in their pocket thinking that that was gonna hide for them.
I don't
What it
think they
worked
were
for
trying to
you?
So hold
be
on, hold on.
Oh,
privileged,
it
but I
worked.
think
So start over because
Oh, you're
I
right.
Oh
have a
yeah.
different POV. So what
So
happened there?
when is the was that Saturday?
Dodgeball
Saturday,
was
we did
Saturday.
Family Feud first.
Okay, so let's
was
talk
that
about
Saturday?
Family Feud.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to go to because it was early this year. Family
Yeah.
Feud was
Family Feud
And
very,
was
let's
a
very
little
just talk
bit.
early.
about
That
the
line was more
content.
organized. That was like the most
It
organized event
was.
that day.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but when we were sitting down and they were like, "Don't save seats, don't get up. If you get up and someone takes your
Right. How you
seat,
gonna tell me I can't
it's
go to the
And
restroom?
gone."
I
That was
couldn't
very
even, I
Oh,
couldn't
annoying.
hold
even
on.
get up.
Is that the one where someone said? Because I heard there was one of these events where someone yelled and said, "If you gotta go to take a shit, you're gonna lose your
Yeah,
seat."
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
better
That's
tell
what
Game over
Talking Head
Really?
there. I'm
was.
about to get
Yep.
mad. They
That
better
is
tell
so
Game over there, and I almost
ghetto.
got
Like,
pissed off because I was
how
about
can
to
you
go
tell me
off
I
on
need to
them.
go use the bathroom and all of a sudden I lose my seat? If I'm, especially when you're around people that could just save your seat. Like, I came later because me and Didum did something beforehand, and I wanted to eat, so I got a bite to eat, and I was like, "Save me a seat," and they're like, "Oh, we can't save a seat. We can't
But
save a
I
seat."
actually
I'm over
agree
here
with
like,
them. I agreed with that decision.
With the save the
Be-
seat,
No,
because
not
people
at
were
all. Not
yeah,
ODing.
at all.
people were saving like 6 seats. It's like if you don't
no, well,
move
that's
I
different.
down.
mean, yeah,
I meant
that
one seat. Like, you could say
But
one
still,
seat.
like if a bunch of people saved one seat, that's still a bunch of people that can't get in
That
while
is
we're
still a
waiting
bunch.
on
Yeah.
your friends, quote unquote, coming from the bathroom. Girl,
Yes,
they
the
ain't coming
girl
from
in
the
front of
bathroom.
us, she had two book bags and she was holding up like 5 seats. And
Yes.
the guy came over and he was like, "Oh, people need to sit here." She was like, "Oh, they're in the bathroom." He's like, "Oh, are they in the building?" She was like, "Yeah, they're in the bathroom." No, they wasn't. They was on the regular
They
line.
never even like they showed up
And
like
y'all didn't say
late,
nothing.
late.
My thing was they
No,
had
another lady came and moved them bags and let them
Yeah.
people sit
Oh,
there.
okay.
That's
Because I
what
was like,
happened.
if that was the case, I could have moved one of the bags for her, and I could have
but
sat there.
but the thing
No,
was
there were people already
also
sitting there.
they never really filled up the gold and platinum seats when they put everybody in first when they put those in people
Okay,
No,
first.
so
so
hold
They
on.
never
I
filled
have
platinum
a
those
were the
seats.
question.
only people who
I have
had
a
reserved
question.
seats.
we had
Did they
seats.
have for the gold and platinum? So, and this is a rewind actually that I would like to know because I have no insight on this.
Mhm.
For the gold, so I have two questions. Number one, I want you guys to tell me what were the benefits of getting a gold and platinum as far as stated, not like what happened,
Mm,
but
Not
what was
Stated
overline.
stated.
for gold,
Shall I go
you
early
got
on
a
access.
discount
in Discord?
voucher, which is
Yeah, go
just
look.
you just show your badge and you're supposed to get a discount like off
Hmm.
of
Yeah, because there was never
the
any discount
RDC.
for nothing.
Was it RDC merch? I think it was just DreamCon merch in general
Yeah,
that we got
DreamCon.
in that room. And
I'm over here looking at my badge like I got
I
gold and
don't know
platinum.
after that.
For both of them, you do get early access to
Yeah,
the
you get
exhibit hall,
you
to the
get
exhibit
early
hall.
access to exhibit hall, which means that
Mm-hmm.
hour that they had only gold and
Yeah.
platinum were able to get in. With platinum had they had the exclusive RDC panel, which was not exclusive, but anyways,
Because y'all got in.
Oh,
it
is
did,
that
and
the
I do it
one?
again.
The one that
Um,
you had went to when we was taking
Yeah.
pictures? The one was right
Hmm.
after
yeah,
ours? Okay. Okay.
and
I can't
they
find
had
it.
reserved seating for the crew battles, so like those first
So then that
two to
answers my
three
second question.
rows.
My second question was, so did they have separate seating for gold and platinum or like
They
just
Only
platinum
did.
or what have you?
platinum and diamond had reserved seating. They had like
No,
put
no,
stickers on the chair for them.
they had it for gold too.
Did
No,
they? I
gold.
never.
But
You
well,
I,
we
could
were just
gold. You
no,
couldn't
that's right.
have
We were just
reserved
allowed in
seating.
first. That's
Yeah,
all.
you had early access to get in,
So
but only platinum and diamond had reserved
for
seats.
gold, it says
Mm.
that they're supposed to have an exclusive lounge, an exclusive panel. I don't think we got that. Discounted merch. I don't think we got that, and more to be announced.
This
And I
kind
don't
of
think.
merch, you just went in that room where we picked up our DreamCon shirts, and you were
and
supposed
But we
to
bought
show the
online, and
badge.
it wasn't
Yeah,
discounted.
was the dodgeball? Was that the event where there was literally no line, just a crowd of people in front of the
Yes,
door?
yeah.
but
When
we're
we were
Okay.
gonna
fighting
get
for our lives,
there.
yeah.
We're gonna get
Okay.
there. Are we there now? Or
Yeah,
was
we're
it
there
We're
now
more?
because we need
Yeah,
to
you
move
guys
on.
can dive into that. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a very long line for it. We're all in line. Well, no, okay, so me and somebody else, I think Sebastian was with me, walked up to, and I'm like, see Destiny and the gang, and I'm like, oh, was this where we are in line? And Destiny was like, yeah, I just stood here because I'm not going to the back of the line. So she just cut the line. There
Yeah,
was a
I talked to this girl. I was like, "Hey, I hope you don't think we cutting you." And we just started having a conversation, and I was well.
because she was cutting her, and
right.
Not you did the thing that I said I was going to do and just meet somebody
Yeah,
random.
I had to talk to her because I was not getting my ass in the back when I seen Weekend
Right.
Plus
Because
people in the front.
right.
Absolutely not.
It was
so
like
then,
it was like 5,000 people in front of us. I'm not getting at the end of the
No,
line
thank
when I
you.
got a go
Mm-mm.
badge.
so then, and then, okay, so people behind us were like cutting as well. Like people just started ganging up, kind of like in a circle where we were, and there was these um white people who were
Oh
behind
goodness,
me.
there was so much emphasis there.
White
I mean,
people.
can you
Well,
blame
that's
them when they were doing everything that everybody else was doing?
because I'm like,
Like,
well, the thing is, I'm like, the black people just cut and said, "Hey, I'm cutting. Like,
Well,
I'm just gonna be here." But the
that's
white
the thing
people were
about it.
like, they were like, "Well, this doesn't make any sense." That
it
people,
Well,
didn't.
but
I'm
that's the
like,
thing about it. That's what Elite was talking about when they would talk about the first event set the precedent
Tone,
right.
yeah.
because after that it seemed like people just stopped caring. They was just like, we're gonna do what we need to
Hmm.
do to get in,
but I'm
especially because
fine.
even platinum and gold members weren't getting into certain events when
That
they
was
probably should have
fine.
been.
That was fine for me. The thing that irritated me is when Destiny was telling them, "Hey, it's only for platinum and gold." They try to make it seem like they deserve to be in line, though they weren't gold or platinum. And I'm like, if all
Denim,
things had went how it was supposed to, y'all weren't supposed to be in line.
denim, you already know a cracker gonna cracker. Ain't
Oh
nothing
my
different.
god!
Oh my
Oh,
Wait a
gosh.
minute.
Oh
Cut that.
my gosh.
Editor in the future, cut that out. YouTube, we
yeah,
was
Yes,
just playing.
we're gonna have to
Well,
cut.
he was just playing. It wasn't me. I
Christine
don't know.
is here. She has a
a
reputation.
brand.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
the
let's
Oh, I
brand.
did.
cancel
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I
2023.
didn't think that was gonna
Not
hurt
lasagna said
anybody.
demonetized.
Mm-mm.
but
But it's just like
so
you already
then,
know.
so then after
Yeah.
that, people were like, there were people, there were so many people just cutting by walking in the hallway towards the door, and at that point there was a
Yeah.
big circle, like somebody was fighting, like when you in school and somebody starts fighting, and all of a sudden there's like a whole gang of people
Uh,
surrounding them. That's how it
Hmm.
looked like.
And what
And
did
then
I
it
do?
was
yeah.
I went to the gang of people.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it
we
was
were
it was
we
sad at that point because people with
mhm.
weekend badges were the ones hurdling
Yeah, they would
against the
not
door.
move.
Yeah, they was
And
not
it's
moving.
just like when they said no, they would just sit there and look at them.
Right.
They
And
Yeah.
stood
I'm
so
at
like,
the
you,
So hold on.
door.
I wanna play devil's advocate in that regard, right? And kind
Mhm.
of use Sebastian as an example.
here we go.
yeah,
Um,
the knitters need to
no,
get to
no,
the back.
no. Oh no, hold on. Let me say what I was gonna say.
Not Rosa Parks.
That's right. Those are the words. That's not the words I said. But no, like where Sebastian had said if he was a volunteer and on that first day and they were asked him to go outside, right? And he would be just standing by the door by the AC yelling out in the crowd. I could totally see volunteers that you're not getting paid, right? And you're
Yeah.
volunteering for an event and then a crowd of people come towards the area and then it's kind of like are you willing to, if this crowd runs through, get trampled for this, or are you just going to move to the side and let them do what they got to do? And I
Mhm.
could
Well,
completely
actually,
understand that if that's
Shout out to
the
the main
no,
volunteer at the door though.
yeah.
He was
yeah,
No,
like,
the
I
yeah,
can
main
get it. He told me, he was
volunteer.
like, come on, I'm getting you in, baby. Let's go. I said, all
Mm.
right.
He
Thank
was
that's
you.
good.
he was like, because this is why I said they need a megaphone. But he was like, if you got
Yeah, he was
a
screaming.
weekend plus badge, put it up, raise your hand. I was like, okay, I was raising my like bling bling.
Oh, you mean
I'm
a
like, this
gold
gold
badge?
is shining,
Gold
baby.
badge.
Let me
Yeah.
in. Hold on.
Yeah, we had to
Right.
hold our badges in the air so we can go ahead
Exactly.
in that
Mine was
building.
shining bright like a diamond.
Huh?
That's good. That's
Now,
good.
It was not shining
yeah,
bright like a
Sebastian had
diamond.
that diamond badge. He had that exclusive that they didn't even have on sale. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
His
I had
key,
That's
the
good.
Special.
I had a
I will
yes,
say
skeleton key.
I do want to say shout out to the volunteers because there was and
right.
that is again where even though I can vouch that this year was better than last year when it came to volunteer and security,
Hmm.
you still did have that disconnect though between volunteers and the security like because there's the convention security
Hmm.
Right.
that they
Right.
Hmm.
have and then you have the volunteers and it's like even though RDC or the convention DreamCon said this is okay, some security situations happened where it was like they're like well no it's not okay and DreamCon staff had to tell their supervisors, no, this is okay, so there's still
Oh,
like this
okay.
Okay.
disconnect that happens,
Yes.
And
which it
it's a
sucks.
lot.
But
So
what I
shout
Yeah.
out
loved
to
about
I'm
what I loved about dodgeball is that it started on time.
And
And I
ended early.
and I said every time that it's mostly women on the panel or in the activity, they started on time.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really?
Yes, the
Yeah.
women knew how to start on time. I
We
said,
did
okay.
start like at 12. And for me, I know for me, because I had asked them like how early could they let people in? And I think that's where it is more of an individualized situation, depending on
Hmm.
who's hosting the panel, right?
Right.
And because for me, I want to maximize the time. And I
Hmm.
know that a lot of the times if you scheduled for an hour, you have to account for people coming in, and
Hmm.
sometimes they
Hmm.
cut you off early to give time to the next group.
Right.
And that's why I had asked the security outside. I was like, "Hey, how early can you guys let people in?" And they're like, "Well, how early do you want people in?" I was like, "All right, 10 minutes. 10 minutes early should be enough." Like if
Hmm.
because luckily for us though, what I can say is there was no one in the room before us. The room was
hmm
completely empty. So for
Okay.
me, I could be like, "Hey, yes, have our people come in at 11:50 and." Get themselves situated, because even with that line, everybody should be fine to come in within 10 minutes and then have a start and maximize that hour. However, I know I'm sure there's some that there was a crowd before them, so they got to wait till that crowd leaves and
hmm
then they got to come in. And then I know for some of the guy groups, like when you have the crew situations,
Mm-hmm.
there the grace that I would say for people to give, and this will be a scheduling critique, is that they would have things kind of back to back and
Yeah.
all over the convention center. So it was like the opening ceremony, then they go to do the crew battle, then they got to go to their booth, which is in the exhibit hall, and then they got to and then they got to go over here to their panel. So I do feel like maybe next time they should space out what each of those groups have, maybe give them an hour in between, so that way it's enough time
Yeah.
for them to get to where they have to get to. Because mind you, also thinking for them, they got to eat, they got to drink, they got to take a moment to
Use
themselves,
the bathroom.
use the bathroom, all the other stuff. So
hmm
So
like getting moments to take a breath or get to where they had to get to. I feel like next year when things are scheduled, that the main groups that have things should not be back to back. It should be
I
like
will.
this thing,
yeah,
hour,
I
that
just
thing.
I can say when me and Jane was standing in that line waiting to come into your panel, it was kind of funny because the lady that was there, the volunteer, she said if this line is not violent, not knowing that we was here to see you, she thought we was here to see the
That's
RDC
exciting.
group. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's the
I
last day, but I'll talk on to that when we get closer to that one.
Well, I will
and
Actually, you
say
could
just
talk
real
it was
quick.
about.
funny because the whole everybody in that line was like, "No, we're not here to see RDC. We're here to see Christine." And it
Oh, you
was
talking
just
about
like,
Sunday? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that,
Yeah.
she
Well,
talking about the
that's
last day, but I'm
real
gonna talk
quick,
yeah,
I
about
will
it.
say this about the
that's like
smaller events as well, that because they didn't always start on time either. I wish if every room was fitted out for, or each room was specifically dedicated for something, so that way everything can be set up and ready to go, and
Mm-hmm.
have the next person just come use that stuff and be good. Then it would be all right because the
It
party
just
chat
Hello, hold on
room.
now.
it needed a
No, no,
buffer.
no, no, no. It
Every
wasn't. It
room
wasn't
needed a
you. It
buffer.
wasn't
Oh
you.
no,
It was
no,
that
no!
they.
I knew you weren't covered for me. I just laughed because of that whole situation.
She said, "Hold
No,
on, wait."
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
go
it is
ahead.
just like I don't think that's respectful to the person
Mhm.
that you have now being hosting that room, that nothing is set up for what they
The
actually
next room.
need.
Oh yeah, because I think that one. I don't think we started on time, did we? Because
I
we
don't
had
think it
to
was
wait for
possible to.
them.
Well,
Right,
there was
we had to
people
wait
still
for
in there
them.
from the last one, so it's kind of like
Hmm. hmm
Yeah, we had to
there was
figure
so much
out the
going
mic
on.
situation.
Right.
And
There were no seats.
the chair situation. And then wasn't
Yeah.
the volunteer? Was it Sebastian? Didn't you try to get the volunteer and she was on the floor in the corner?
I asked about the Wi-Fi. I was like, "Hey, can we get some
Oh
certain
yeah, he
stuff
said
right
he don't
here?"
know.
And she was no, it was a she, and she
Oh.
was like, "Oh, I have no idea." I said, "Well, if you don't know, who else know?"
Nobody at this point.
None of us. It became a
But
guessing game. It
if
became a
y'all want to
guessing game.
say anything about Sunday, we can. It to me that wasn't a huge eventful day.
Hmm.
And then after that, we're gonna talk about Christine's events. We're gonna talk about things that we got at the market, and then we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
that
I,
TikTok child.
the only thing I have to
um,
say for Sunday was that I almost slapped the volunteer, but other than that, it was cool for
Oh
Mm,
me.
goodness, why are you fighting
Sunday.
everybody? Like you're fighting
He
Um,
was
everybody.
rude. He was rude. He was really rude
I,
oh,
because
I,
I
that's
was
I
trying.
sad.
remember I
Oh,
remember him being
oh.
mad that day. Yeah, I
Because
did.
Yes.
I was just trying to find where your panel was,
Mm-hmm.
where all y'all were. Because I was coming, because I had forgot my pass, so I had to go through the Hilton to go over to the cross the bridge, and then trying to find y'all when there was so many lines. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm trying to figure out where y'all are. I see there's a long line. I don't know what that line was for, and so
Mm-hmm.
I see the volunteer, the same one that came up to you to ask, "Were you good?" Because we was talking to you, and
Oh, he was.
he
What did he say? Because he was. I mean, for me, he was amazing throughout
Oh,
this
he
weekend.
was
But
I didn't
hilarious.
like him
what
from the
But
happened?
after party on Saturday,
c-
but he
the,
let me in,
the,
so
the
my beef with
thing
him is done.
was I was trying I was so confused. I asked one volunteer like, "Hey, where is this where is this being held at? Because I'm confused. I see so many lines, I see so many people. They just walked
Mm-hmm.
off. So I see him
Ooh.
and he's just standing there. So I went to him, I said, "Excuse me, can you help me find it?" He goes and put a finger in my face and say, "I can't help you right now."
What?
And I had to walk off because the the backside of my hand wanted to just slap him straight in the face. So I said, you know what? Let me go ask
I feel like he's from
Miss
New
Skin
Jersey.
Miss Skinny White
Hmm.
Skinny White lady that's
With
sitting down the door.
the Pokemon?
I don't know
Over
what
there?
The
I didn't
lady
know
that
what
was
she
sitting
had
in the
on,
chair.
but yeah, she was in a chair, and I just went up to her to just ask her a question. She gonna hold her hand. I said, "You can't go in there." I'm like, I'm not trying to go in there. I'm trying to ask a question. She's like, "Oh, what's your question? Is this the room where they having the Our Journey or I can't really remember the whole name, but
Our
Our Journey?"
lessons, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, yes, but you can't go in. I'm like, it just started. She was like, it starts at 1. I'm like, that's RDC. I'm not here for RDC. I'm here for the thing. She's like, oh well, they in the same room, so we still can't let you in. I said, listen here. The thing starts at 12. It's only 12:03. So if you don't let me in, I will push you out this chair.
Well,
Other
And then
than
the people had to play
so
behind me. They had to say, just go down 2 more, just go down 3 more doors. He's here for the other thing. He's not here for RDC. Just let him get in. And so
so
the other lady, she grabbed me and let me go in.
See, no, you should have slapped the first one that walked away, because that would have got me hot. Like, oh, you didn't hear me? I guess everyone now in this whole building gonna hear me, because I'm about to
oh
make a
my
ruckus.
god.
I'm making a
And see, I don't
ruckus.
get rowdy. I don't get rowdy. And people that know me know I don't.
Don't
So to
worry,
get me
I
out of my
do.
element
So
is like,
I'm about to
you had
say,
to do.
call me a rowdy rough boy, because you about to hear some things.
Yeah, I don't.
But
There's no.
other than Nate fighting half the volunteers, anything else about Sunday before we move on?
Sunday, I had a good time. Yeah,
I wasn't
it
part
was
of
a
Yes.
good
that
time.
that group photo, but yeah.
Oh Lord.
No,
well,
the way with the whole crowd, BJ was like, "We're not gonna be in this picture."
oh yeah,
And
Oh,
put
Sunday
you on the
was
Yeah,
oh
side.
yeah,
Oh,
we
I
got cut
remember
out too,
that.
but it's okay.
we
Yeah.
got cut out of the picture.
and Sunday was also fun because we went to the water park. Well, some of us went to the water park.
Yeah, we went to
So
the
it was
water
also
park. It
fun.
was
Yeah, Sunday was
amazing.
fun. Okay,
But
so
we're gonna talk about okay. Let's talk about anything that we got from. Oh, actually, let's talk about Christine's stuff first. So
Mhm.
Christine was part of two. I keep calling them events. I don't know what else to
panels,
call them. One was
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
live
the party
party
chat
chat
podcast.
podcast,
Mhm.
and the other one was our journey, our healing.
Our
Our
lesson.
lessons.
Oh, our
Yes.
lessons.
I
Journey.
need to be healed,
Which was
but
funny
yeah.
because I remember the name after, but beforehand I'd be like, it's our something, our something.
Yeah, our journey, our lessons.
Yeah.
So those were
Which in
fun.
hindsight was a fire name. You know, it sounds like, hey, this is
Yeah.
gonna be a nice time.
No, both of
The
Christine's panels were absolutely great. I
Yes.
think she had.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna be shady, never mind. I
Don't
think
be
she
shady.
had. I think she had people that really knew about the business and really were able to contribute. I think the Party Chat podcast was fun because it was random, it was
yeah.
lively. She was
Mhm.
talking to the audience. The Journey one, of course, you're talking about your journey. You're helping people that want to start content creating themselves. Perfect,
Hmm.
I'm still working on mine.
and that's all right.
That's
Mhm.
funny. For my side, I do agree. Like I so there's obviously pros and cons with everything, right?
Mhm.
I will say that next year, because I'll
Mhm.
do the podcast thing again next year, but I would choose to do a panel room
Right.
because and that's where like communication and understanding kind of falls different. Understanding where I was gonna be didn't happen even until like a couple weeks before, and then even that was different than what we saw when
Hmm.
when we went in there, because even what was said as to where we could be, it looks different than when we went in there. So it was funny getting messages from people while I'm on my way to the room, and people like one person said, "Oh my gosh." Like
Oh.
they were like,
Oh,
there's no seating. And so um I will say like I can, and I do this even when it comes to like YouTube meetings and whatnot, about how I love my community. And even though it was like a bad church picnic with like seating, like sometimes they
Mhm.
have them picnics, they don't got enough seats for everybody. So people just
Right.
standing, holding their plate, eating outside. It was kind of like that, but inside AC, where some people that really couldn't stand were sat at the sofas that were all the way, like
In the back, in the
all the
corner.
way on the other
yeah.
side of the room.
Or even the
Luckily,
floor.
yeah, like they were in another country. That's how far them seats were. And then those who could stand did, or they sat on the floor. And I don't like that that's how they had to enjoy the situation. I would have rather people have been able to sit down. Everybody could have sat down closer. I do agree that the mic situation was very different, and the difference between that one versus the panel that we had on Sunday, the panel we had on Sunday, there was a team that was doing the tech stuff. I just had to ask them they asked me how many mics you need, and they gave me the mic. When I need an extra mic, they got it for me. They had us set up, they had us turned on, all that stuff. So shout out to the team that was there
Yeah,
for
that should
that
have been every
panel.
room.
Shout out
Yeah.
to y'all.
Yes. But for the podcast one, we didn't have that case, and it was very confusing and whatnot. But in the
Oh,
end,
can we
what happened?
also shout out all the ladies that were there for both of
Yes,
those
yes.
events?
So
Yes,
shout
shout
out,
out to them.
for the podcast, right? Because this kind of goes into scheduling. Originally, it was going to be the crew. It was going to be me, Chelsea Bites, Goofy Wise, and Jazz for the event for the podcast IRL. Goofy wasn't able to make it, so he wasn't at DreamCon this year. They scheduled Jazz for something at the same exact time as this panel, so we lost Jazz. Chelsea, we were able to get, but she had an event right before, so she had to travel from that event to this event. So shout out to her for still coming
Hmm.
that way. I want to give shout out as well to Tasha, Barefoot Tasha, to Leash
Hmm.
Capiche, and to
Mhm.
Define by Kai to
Period.
come and
Yes.
be on the panel to have conversations. And it was like, what was hilarious is that this was a very, like, even though planning had gone into what we were trying to do, we were not able to do anything that we were trying to do in that space.
Right.
So it was definitely a go with the flow conversational thing. And we ended up talking about so many different things. Like we talked about divorce, we talked about
Oh, yep.
the movie
Ice
reviews
cream's so
and
good.
pod.
Ice cream's
Yeah,
so
we
good.
talked about the AI stuff. So I love the conversations that came up, and like you said, that the audience was heavily involved in that one, where it was like
Hmm.
us. It was honestly, it was like a group of people just having a conversation. Just some of them had mics. That's just
Right.
Yeah.
exactly what it was
Yeah.
like. It was a
And we
vibe.
even had a doctor in the house.
Oh,
We
that
did.
late. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's a doctor.
Oh,
I'm just messing
Oh
with her.
yeah, no, I get. I think I know who you're talking about. But yeah, I do love the energy that a lot of
right. Thank you for
people
bringing that up.
came to and brought. There's more, but I will say with the panel, it was such a great turn. I loved that we went out. Like when I was like, okay, let me just get a video of the line,
Hmm.
to go out there, and that line wrapped around a corner. I
Hmm.
was like, that is fire. That is
Right.
hella fire. It wasn't just like a few people, because there were people sitting in different spots. So I thought maybe might have been waiting. But no, the line was literally from door one, because there's like 4 doors, I think, to get in there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Door
Yeah.
one.
there was people sitting there that you saw sitting there. They was waiting for you as well.
And also having the line, I'm just like, that was amazing. That was unexpected. That was amazing. And even the turnout of people that came, the room we was in was like fire. I was just like, this
Mm-hmm.
was great. Despite the miscommunications that happened, because so kind of rewinding, there was like almost a mini panic attack happening, because in the app, if you didn't click in, it just said meeting room 18 at the Hilton.
Yeah,
And
that's what
that's
it
what I
said.
was
Location.
and that's what I was telling people. It's at the Hilton. It's at the Hilton. And I was making the video. I'm like, okay, it's at the Hilton. But then when beforehand, I was like, okay, we got to prep. If we need an escort to get across there, we'll have to get an escort. So I'm talking to the escort team and they're like, well, where's the panel? And I was like, they said it's 18 at the Hilton. Let me click in and see on the map. And when I looked, I was like, oh no, this room that it says mapped to is right around the corner up here in the convention center.
Yep.
So
Right.
I had told the guy, I was like, let me just pop into the room that it says it's in and ask to see if this is the room we're supposed to be in. So I go into the room and I ask the tech people, I was like, what panel do you guys have as the next one? They said our journeys, our lessons. I was like, okay, so this is the place. All right, great.
Right.
So then I left, and then that's when I went back and I told Jazz and Tasha, like, let's make this video really quick, or I'm gonna make a video. You guys repost, let people know the space we're supposed to be in. So they just retweeted, I think the first initial graphic that I had made for the podcast, they retweeted it, just letting people know it's not at the Hilton, it's here at the convention center. And so we did that. And because people, I think people were tweeting Jazz and Tasha saying, hey, we're in line at the Hilton, we're in line. And I'm like, if they're in line, we need to tell them where they need to be,
Yeah.
because it was like kind of like a little panicking thing because people were lining up at the Hilton. So finally getting the video out, I was like, all right, let me take a peek, see who's out there, seeing the line. I was like, all right, awesome, this is great. But when I went to talk to one of the security people about when they can let people in, they're like, oh, we have the thing starting at 1. And I was like, no, my panel starts at noon. It's not at 1. And they were like, oh, okay. Because I guess they also thought that I was talking about the RDC event. And I guess they thought maybe they don't obviously see. This is the thing, because it was a security guard that I spoke to, not the blue shirt. He was like in a black outfit, and he probably thought that I was with RDC. So, and that's clear he doesn't know who RDC is.
Right.
He's
I
like,
am
there's
not
a lady in RDC? No, yeah, that's believable. Yep.
right. So
It's
when
the
he was like,
female Crystal.
yeah,
right.
oh, that's like they just got a new member. That's the big announcement. I am a part of RDC World now. No, so when I had said like my panel is next, when can I let people in? He's like, well, since it starts at 1, you can let people in whenever you want to. And I'm like, no, mine starts at noon. So I get that there was like a disconnected information there. And I apologize for the situation you gone through, Nate, and for everybody that might have been. I know it's like, I understand it's not my fault. I had nothing to do with it, right? But I do want to empathize with people that had difficulties or issues, So
I mean, I had fun.
Damn, who typing?
Yeah.
they
Sorry.
typing fast.
Sorry.
I was like, I must be talking too long because on the fingers it's like do.
No, again, I have to go back to work tomorrow, so now I have to figure that out.
Boo.
I called
Exactly.
off. I
But-
called off for work tomorrow.
Mhm. But so let's talk about the last thing, the TikTok that have everyone's talking.
Can I go first?
Wait, hold on. I want to just describe what the TikTok was about.
Yeah, we did do a TikTok.
Did we talk about the market stuff?
We should save the
you're right.
positivity for the end. I don't know.
Okay, we'll save the positivity for last.
So
Go ahead.
basically, I want to say it was Saturday. I've seen it. This girl posted a TikTok trashing the DreamCon because of the lines, and she didn't get to see some bros, and basically she was trying to hashtag cancel DreamCon. She was talking about how some bros should host their own event, how it's very ghetto, very unorganized, and things like that.
Yeah.
And it went viral. So now a lot of people have been talking about it, and we're gonna give our say on the TikTok. Destiny, would you like to go?
Yes, I would. Because if I catch her.
Oh.
Anyways, she was very rude in this TikTok talking about cancel DreamCon and cancel RDC because she didn't get to meet some bros, and it was very confusing to me. And when we went to the when I went to the panel on Sunday, Mark expressed to us how that like hurt his feelings because like they're really trying. This is only
Aw.
their 5th year, and he was like he was really hurt by that. And I'm like,
That
you
explains the
know,
closing ceremony, him addressing stuff at the closing ceremony. Now it makes sense to
Mhm.
me.
yeah, child, she just real rude for that. I'm like, you wasted all this time ranting on TikTok watching people skip when you should have just skipped with them. I don't know.
I
Right.
think
Bless
as
you.
a culture, what we need to stop doing is when Black people do things, and if it doesn't match exactly how you wanted it or how you
Mhm.
expected it to
Mhm.
go, stop calling for a cancellation, because you don't do that
Right.
shit when you go to a white convention.
Yeah.
Like if you had went to VidCon and RDC was there and you didn't get to meet RDC or some bros, you would not be on some cancel VidCon, it's ghetto,
Mhm.
F this ish. But when it's a Black convention, you want to come out your neck and ask for a cancellation. Look at the
Yeah.
big picture. People really need to take a perspective seat back and look at the big picture. This is a
Exactly.
convention for Black people to commune and celebrate each other,
Mhm.
celebrate our
Hmm.
fandom, celebrate content creators and things like that. To have her show me where else they do that, okay? Because I know
No
there is BlurCon that does exist. I've never been to BlurCon, but that does exist. But when you go down the list of a lot of conventions that are not made with Black people as a forefront intentional thought, we are
Especially about anime
sprinkled
and video
in,
games.
right?
Yeah.
We are
Mhm.
sprinkled in, or you have to deal with the harassment. Oh, Black, oh, that anime character isn't Black. You know, that so and so isn't Black. So you have
And
to
we've
deal
been
with
going through that
harassment
online as well.
Right.
online, artists
John
who are
posted a
drawing themselves.
picture. John posted a picture on Twitter earlier how there was a what is it? There was a page showing like some of the cosplays from DreamCon, and the people were in the comments talking
Racist.
about oh, why are they only recording the Black people? Why are they not recording the white people? And then somebody was like, "Ew, ugly people." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Under John's posts.
Yeah.
No,
No, he had
it was
screenshotted the
yeah, he
post
screenshotted it. He was like, "Saw
under black
DreamCon."
yeah,
Mm.
cosplayers that were
This
going
is
Yeah.
why they
viral.
have DreamCon. So for that
Right.
person, I was going to call her out her name, but I'm not going to.
Ooh,
That person making a TikTok to cancel a place that was made for us because you didn't. And I think what's fair is being disappointed that you didn't get to see who you wanted to see. That's fair. Being disappointed that lines may have been not may. There was disorganization with lines and issues and communication. That's fair. But to call for
Mhm.
a cancellation and ending of so 20, well, now you said 28,000, right? So
Mhm.
27,999 people should not have a place to commune because
Right.
you were disappointed, is what
Right.
you telling.
and on top of
I
that, Black people need to fix their expectations when it comes to Black
true.
events. For
And I
some
But
wanna
reason, y'all go to VidCon, Comic Con, and stuff like that, and when things
and
happen,
let them be
you'd be like,
trash.
yeah, it would just be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's what it is. But as soon as Black people host something, you want them to have everything together. You
Mhm.
want to have everything
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
you want it to be, and it's just like, why are you holding us to a whole higher standard
I
when you
did want to
yourself couldn't
speak
do
on
that?
that. I
Mm-hmm.
did want to speak about that real quick. And for everyone speaking only negativity into and about DreamCon, I want to speak to you for a moment because in all honesty, you
Cool.
don't deserve better. I'm kind of
Period.
sick of
Well,
how black people are treated by everyone, especially the chronically online social justice warriors who have never had to dig deep and examine their own internalized racism that
Mm-hmm.
every
Period.
single African American has to uproot in order to live the words that they speak when talking about pro-black spaces and supporting black
Mm-hmm.
Simply.
businesses and
mhm.
black
Speak
creators.
on it.
Black people have
Mm-hmm.
long afforded and needed grace, patience, and love. And the only two things going viral right now about DreamCon are black people complaining and white people being racist to the cosplayers. Like, have
That's
some
wild.
Where's the
self-awareness.
positivity? Everything
Touch
was amazing this
grass.
weekend.
I
I'm
think
about to
Mhm.
say,
one.
and at the end of the day, when we talk about these type of things, it was still fun. Everyone talked
Yes.
It
about
was
everyone
Mhm.
amazing.
there said
Mhm.
that they
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
still had a good time. That this was
It
one
was
of the
amazing.
events of their lives. People cried after, not wanting to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell
And
Mm-hmm.
me that you sit here and only think of negative things to say about
Yes,
it.
lines
Everything
and
aside,
curated.
I'm not
RDC don't owe me nothing, okay?
Right.
I'm
And
not gonna
They
lie.
did
All right.
nothing.
They
same
don't
When
thing.
need
We
a
I'm
picture.
waited 4 hours.
when I'm not gonna lie is like DreamCom. I heard of DreamCom, and I to me personally didn't know that it was made by RDC. And that's the thing. I was like, who's RDC? She like, you don't know who the RDC is. I was like, I
Yes,
don't
alright, Galen,
know.
because she came at me like
I
that
was
too.
I was like, I don't know RDC. Then why you come to Dream? I came to DreamCon.
Not too much. Hold on, wait.
But
Did we
I
laugh?
said I came to DreamCon to see y'all, obviously to see Christine.
Thank you. It's like having
But
to
Right.
wait 4 hours to see a total stranger whose
and
job
Mhm.
not
just
only that,
is
that's why.
their
And then I
job
was like,
is to entertain people, but they are not your slaves for entertainment. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot expect them to wait 3 whole days and meet 10,000 people because y'all want to see these people. They are
Mm-hmm.
Right.
humans. They are
yes,
not gonna have the energy to give out great energy to 30,000 people in 3 days.
I want to
yes.
Right.
jump in and say, oh, go ahead, Game Lover, and then I'll say something.
And that's why I was like, if I do go again, next year, like the battle, was it when they was versus some bros? The
Yeah.
The
personally,
battle.
I could not sit there, and honestly, it's not because I wasn't entertained. I can't sit there because of mental issues. Like I just couldn't just sit there. I was starting to fall asleep, but I was honestly entertained. So I did hear somebody, like I got up and I walked out and I heard somebody say, "What do they expect?" Like obviously they sitting there trying to get everything set up. And in my head I'm like, I'm not leaving because it was taking so long to get set up. I'm leaving because
Oh, you touching on two
Girl.
things. You touch on two things that I want to address. Two things.
yeah.
One,
And so I
so
was like,
go ahead.
I that's why I was like, I honestly have fun. Like I love the what's the shopping area?
The exhibit
Oh,
hall.
the exhibit
Yeah, the
hall.
Exhibit
I
hall. Right.
enjoy that. So for me, for that person, there's other things to do besides
RDC and some
Christopher.
Oh,
bros.
period.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She
Right.
said
Yeah.
that last sentence,
Yeah.
game
So,
lover, period.
mhm.
There's
So
other
the two
things to
things
do.
the two things that I want to say, and again, we're saying that not with disrespect, but for people who are like go hards where they're like verbally harassing other people because they went to do other things. That's
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because like a lot of people wanted that. They were like, "Hey, let's have other panels and things like that and not just it be focused on
right.
RDC. We want to commune because the reason RDC made it is for everybody to commune with each other and
Right.
not just about them, but for different communities, you know? So the fact that you did that, you were like, hey, let me go find a different thing to do. There's no fault on you. And so two things. One thing is, Kenya Barris had said this. He made the show, I think it was it I Don't Give a AF, or is it no Black AF? That's what it is. Not I Don't Give a F.
Black AF,
Black
mixed
AF.
dish, blackish,
Yeah.
white-ish.
Grownish.
So Black AF, and he had made this comment in the show, which was like, so like on the nose, and he had talked about. I think it's in the first episode how he's a writer. Another character in the show was a writer, which was a white character. He comes out and like the white character comes out and drives like a Toyota and like leaves, right? A Toyota, and he comes out with like regular t-shirt and some jeans or whatever, but gets all these accolades because as a white uh uh like a white writer. Him as
Mhm.
a black writer, when he was in different rooms, they would judge him because like, oh, are you even really making money? Look at the car you drive, look at the clothes you wear, type of thing, right?
Hmm.
And he was talking about how when it from our own people, how
Mhm.
black people can see a white person do something, and then they can either they'll accept it
And they'll
despite
act like they
however
got
They'll
all
be
the
packaged
doing
it
the bare
comes
answers.
in.
minimum and they get
Right.
Right.
paid for it.
The
Exactly.
bare minimum, yes, and it gets accepted as the package that's given. When a black person does it, if it's that the same, they're ragged on. The only way that they get praised is, or not only, but I will, because I'm not going to overgeneralize, but most of the time when they get praise, it's when things are absolutely perfect, without flaw, without issue, or it's like to a high luxury aesthetic, because then
Mhm.
it's like, but even still, there will be a section of our own people that will find something to complain about and call the whole thing to be taken under a microscopic view. The fact
Right.
that
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Oh, I'm a writer, I'm making money," people like, "Oh, well, the car you drive doesn't mean you're making money. The clothes you wear doesn't mean you're making money." Yet they'll see this white writer and be like, "Oh my goodness, all the things he does is so amazing. Blah blah blah. He's this, he's that," despite the fact.
I'm about
And
to say, and be the same ones that criticize the black folk will also criticize the black folk that are expressing their money in different ways, where they do have cars, where they do
mhm,
choose to have chains. They'll be like,
mhm.
why are they doing that? The white folk don't do that. Da 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 da. And it's just like, well, you can't win
Where
for the
can we win?
Right.
exactly.
And
Mhm.
They eat you up when you don't have an expensive car, but then they eat you up when you have one. Say it's a waste
right,
of money and everything.
right.
You always got to bend over backwards to please other black people, and it's sick.
And it's sad when stuff like that happens. I am glad that there were a bunch of us that could celebrate it and can have fun. And like you said, for my timeline, I didn't know about a lot of the hate. I just knew a little bit. I knew some people were complaining, but
Mhm.
from my timeline, I'm seeing a lot of people be like, "Oh my goodness, DreamCon was so amazing.
Same,
It
yeah.
changed my life. I'm
Yeah, I
crying
don't see any
tears. I'm
hate. It
sad it's
just
over."
It
people.
was
I
It's
keep
really
more
just
seeing
that
so.
people
one girl.
defend. I
Yeah, I
keep
think
seeing
that.
people defend against hate.
Mhm.
That's how I'm seeing the hate.
And the one thing I want
Mhm.
to add to this as well, the main girl that was upset. I remember when was the Some Bros meet and greet? It was Friday and Saturday, right?
And I think
Saturday
a
and
little bit of
Sunday. Saturday
Sunday.
and Sunday.
Saturday,
Saturday
Sunday.
and Sunday. So I remember Saturday seeing them. I can't remember if it was after Christine or not, but we were up there when they told all those people that Some Bros is not meeting anybody anymore. Y'all gonna have to try tomorrow, and everyone was mad. Everyone was throwing fits. Everyone was doing whatever. But at the same time, it's just like y'all didn't get the spot. It wasn't a guaranteed spot,
The
and
funny thing about them getting mad though is that they send out a notification on the app earlier in the day saying that if you did not RSVP for this event, you're not getting in. They're only holding 130 spaces. So the fact that they stood on the line and thought they was gonna get in anyway, it's just
well, I
Hold
double
will
on,
never
But
say,
wasn't
hold
there
on,
I will
also
say,
a
hold on.
thing?
Hold on. I want to dive into that.
Mhm.
130 spaces. Can you imagine
Out of
for real.
28,000 people.
having to, well, no, not even, let's say there was only 200 people there. Can you imagine standing there and in one day having to stand in a spot and
But
talk
taking
to
all those
and
pictures.
take
Yeah.
pictures
Mhm.
with 130 people?
That's a
Right.
lot of people.
Right.
It's exhausting.
I didn't take one, and I was exhausted. I
I'm
I
telling
did
you.
one.
Golly.
The
I'm
only one that
tired.
we took is the group picture of Christine. That's the only
Oh,
But
one I
not
and
took.
then Dylan took a picture with me and
Oh
Destiny
yeah,
and
we took a picture with
Sebastian
Dylan.
and
Per.
Y'all didn't have to mention that.
Shout
Yuri.
out
Go, I'm
Dylan. I
sorry.
took
but
Andrew
Thank you,
dancing. Shout out to
Dylan.
Dancing.
but other than
Per.
that, when it comes to the Some Bros meet and greet,
I,
there were
I
people still in line saying, "Oh, we registered, we did all this." So now again, there's things that could be worked on. Should there be only 130 passes given for that day
It
on
should
the
be
app?
less.
That way they know they're not getting in.
I do
Sure,
think it should be less as
Well,
well. I think
That's too many
130
sure.
people
people.
is a lot.
But at
well,
the same time, even if you registered, other people register too. There's no guarantee you're going to get in. If you came for DreamCon just for a meet and greet, that's your problem. There are
I would
I
so
say
many
think
other
I would
also
things.
never
some
do
people was
that.
not
I
If
registered.
you
was
want to
I
meet
would say
somebody
there was
from some bros, you better get your ticket to Berlin's ball if you want
Right.
to meet
well, I
people.
was
Right.
Ain't they?
well in that case. I mean, I granted I don't agree with them, but I would say that there was a little, before we talked about before that there was a little miscommunication in between
Right.
the app and what was
Mhm.
being told. Because they say, okay, well, you had to register for this, and then next thing you know, last minute it says, well, registering is out of the way. It's first come, first serve. So I mean,
Right.
there
Mhm.
was a lot of miscommunication. I could
Right.
understand being frustrated about that, but
Frustrations.
then,
Yes,
but then
yes.
again, move on, go do something else.
Right.
Go, I don't know, go get some ice cream.
But
Right.
But
You
did
there's
they
know,
have
so
ice
many
cream
other
there?
mini
Because if
events
they had ice cream, I'm
happening
sad I didn't
that they
know.
could have
They
went
did have
to.
ice cream
they
actually.
did.
Y'all didn't
Right.
tell me why. Well, I was with y'all. Why didn't y'all tell me they
We
had ice
didn't
cream?
get it. So
That's
we
better.
didn't
Now
we didn't know
you
if
know
it was
what?
good or not.
Cancel DreamCon. I didn't get no ice cream. Okay.
now
I got cinnamon rolls, so I
But
don't know.
Me
but that's
too.
the thing
They
that
Yeah.
had
kills
cinnamon
me.
rolls. Cancel DreamCon. I didn't get no
not
cinnamon
there.
rolls.
Don't cancel
Not
I
DreamCon
did.
now.
We
there.
You
went
went to add
out.
DreamCon. Hold on.
We
But
went
that's the
outside
thing
of
that gets
DreamCon
me
for
though
it.
with all of this. There's so many different things going on. If that was the only reason for you to get a DreamCon ticket, you came to the wrong thing.
Right.
Even
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
if you wanted to meet RDC, even if you wanted to meet Christine, Tasha, anybody, you never know
What could
what might get
happen?
into, what
Right.
could happen. They could not show up at all. So the fact is that you can't enjoy the rest of your convention because of this one incident just shows that you shouldn't have been at the convention.
Right.
Yes, if you really all right, if you're really coming to DreamCon to meet creators, I don't think the convention you'll actually meet them. You can meet them like outside walking around or
It's
something. If
giving
you really
grouping.
want to meet people, but it's never that
Mhm.
serious.
Or they
Not too
could
So
much
I
still
for
would
do a
Sebastian.
meet
Hold
and
on, wait.
greet.
I would like to say that I do like I can understand being disappointed, right? Especially if you like cuz here's the thing. This is where
Hey,
and
I didn't meet Corey,
I'll
but that's
play
fine.
mild devil's advocate in the
Right.
fact that I can understand how content creators can affect your life so greatly that
Hmm.
like people who were thinking of unaliving themselves changed their decision because of a content creator, right?
Right.
So I can understand that thought process of like, man, I really want to meet this person. And then I can understand you being disappointed because of not being able to in whatever fashion, especially when, like you guys said, it seemed that there was kind of mishaps with badges and mishaps with or like RSVPs mattering or not mattering. So I can understand your disappointment. I feel like being disappointed is a fair feeling. It's the
Mhm.
actions that you do. And
Find
that's
it. Hmm.
that's the thing. Yeah, I feel like when somebody feels something or about a situation, or about a issue, or about what have you, a lot of the times the feeling is valid. It's the actions that you choose after
Yep.
having that feeling that can be
Right.
problematic. So like in the situation of, hey, I really wanted to see some bros. Let's even put it there. I don't know her life. I don't know her situation. But let's say she's one of those people where she was thinking of not being here anymore. Watching a Some Bros video really saved her life and kept her on this planet, right? And
Hmm.
she only came there to see the people that essentially saved her life. I can understand you being disappointed.
I
The
disagree.
whole thing, the whole
Oh,
thing shouldn't be. My thing is the whole thing shouldn't be canceled because you didn't get to meet them. I think like when you come to a convention, even if it is to see the one person, you have to take a bigger perspective in that, like 130 people for RCP, that's a lot of people. Can you imagine talking to individually? Because it's not like you're talking to the whole group as a whole. No,
hmm.
you're talking to each individual person, having to hear their story, having to be present in their story while being hungry, while being tired, while being thirsty, while having to use the bathroom, having your normal stuff that's going on. Something could have happened beforehand. You got text, you got life, and you're trying to be present, mentally and physically present to 130 individual people. You got to take a step back and be like, listen, I'm disappointed, but you know what? Next year, I'm gonna try to make sure I RSVP. Next year, I'm gonna try to make sure I'm there
Mhm.
in
The
in the
thing
line.
the
Go
thing
ahead.
for me though is to say that you're disappointed. Who disappointed you?
Yourself.
Because thank you. You disappointed yourself. You came in with expectations that were not promised. And to say
Mm.
that, oh, well, they saved my life, they didn't save your life. You saved your life. Now, the
Mhm.
emotions that made you change the fact that you were feeling suicidal or whatever during that moment may have been because you were enjoying them and the things that they do because they were inspiring. That's what they want to do. But to say that, oh, yeah, I need to see them because of that, it's just like they're not your therapist.
Mhm.
You cannot place that role on somebody you've never met, that
Mm.
doesn't have a relationship with you. It's great to feel connected with people online, like these streamers, like that's the whole purpose, to connect with people and to inspire people, especially DreamCon. That's exactly what it's about. But you have to manage your own expectations. You can't go to a Mexican restaurant and be mad that they won't serve you chicken alfredo.
Oh.
Well, that I get what you're saying. I mean, the out
Yeah.
the
I feel bad for the
example would be a little
feeling.
different. It'd be like I didn't get the certain taco because I mean,
But the
in
thing
this
is, it
case,
wasn't it
the Alfredo
wasn't
was on the menu. In
but
this
it
case,
it
they
wasn't
just couldn't
though.
get it.
It wasn't for her. I mean, not everybody is going to be able to order that.
But
Mhm.
I get
it's
that.
still
Yeah.
on the
I get
menu,
that.
as she's saying. But
Right.
yeah, I agree with Denim. And the fact is, these people, as big as they are, you have to look at them as, I mean, they're
People.
not as popular,
Yes,
but you
they're
have to.
regular people at the end of the
But
People.
day.
not even that. You have to look at them just like you would look at Beyonce, Nicki, Drake. Them. You think they're doing meet and greets for? I mean, Beyonce don't even do meet and greets.
At
So I'm
all.
like,
She not
you
meeting
think?
or
Oh,
greeting
she
Yeah,
you.
that's it.
doesn't.
She
No.
sometimes she doesn't have any formal ones, but there are recordings of her currently where she would see fans after the show and hand them T-shirts
I'm
and
about to
stuff.
say
But she's
they
not
Yeah.
do
like
that,
meeting
but
people like that. No.
Mary J.
Okay.
Blige,
Okay.
yeah, even Mary J. Blige, J Dog. But it's just like
Woo!
you're not going to expect them as much as fans want to see them. You're not going to expect them to sit there because you view them as a certain prestige. What
Mm-hmm.
you're
Right.
doing is making this content creator all about you, and
Yeah.
that is not why they are here.
Right. And it's
Yeah, I
kind of
do.
weird too to act like they're such your inspiration, and the moment you get disappointed, it's a flip.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I listen. And let's talk. Well, okay, let me take a second and just try to mind my words. Let's,
Mhm.
because I think that that's a very real thought process that, from experience, I can say is not just to the celebridom, right? It can
Right.
happen in relationships as well,
Mm-hmm.
where um, it's like the minute that someone like disappoints you, you like rewrite how everything went, you know?
Right, exactly.
Right.
And I do feel like, because that is, and that
Storyteller.
goes back to something Game Lover said earlier in regards to assumptions. And I mean, I don't know, because I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing it, Game Lover. I hope that this isn't a situation that like really plagued you throughout the thing, like that thought process of, oh, this person probably thinks that I'm upset because of ABCXYZ, because that's totally a mindset that I would be in for me personally. But I do feel like, as people, as in humans, right? Not just race, but as in humans, we need to stop assuming. The
Mm-hmm.
power of a wrong assumption is
Mhm.
so powerful that it breaks relationships, ruins opportunities, ruins someone's life or day because someone assumed something. If
Right.
you ever think something, clarify, and
Ask.
or don't just overgeneralize that, oh, like you see people leaving. What if it's not even a situation of mental health? What if you just had to pee real bad? Like you had to just,
Why
you're
you in
like
my
drinking,
business trying to
right?
blow
Or
me
Right.
let's
up?
say you had one of them tacos y'all said y'all had, and then you had full blown diarrhea, right? You supposed to sit there with the
Well,
diarrhea because you don't want people to assume that you upset with the situation? Would they
Right.
would have
exactly.
rather that you sit beside them and just shat yourself
Mm.
beside them? Like,
Right.
and then they're gonna come for you like some people just can't handle. You know, shut up.
I'm about to say,
Just
trust
shut
me, from
up.
experience, you don't want that.
Shut up. I was just gonna say, just
Not from
tell these
today.
people
No.
just
But moving on, the
Uh,
last thing I will say, because
now
I'm
that's that.
yours. Um,
I'm traumatized. I'm
the girl,
sorry.
the girl knew she was wrong because when the
Mhm.
video went viral and people were getting on her, she said, "You're right. I did I did jump to conclusions. I was doing the most. I was
She
being dramatic."
apologized.
Yes,
Yes, but
Oh,
she
But
but
okay.
she's
wouldn't.
not
But
taking
she.
that
I'm
video
about to
down
say
because
she will
Right.
Clout
not
would
take the
lock to the
video down
line.
because she's viral, and that just shows what kind of
Clout.
person she is. Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well,
Right.
mind you, this takes me back to a situation somebody said, and I've
Like she
seen
gonna have a
as a
panel
clip,
next year.
when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Mhm.
Doing it in my
Mhm.
And in
energy.
Yup.
this situation, she not only because getting upset again, I'm not going to fault her for being disappointed. I know,
Mhm.
Denim, you feel differently, but I'm not going to fault her for being disappointed. I will
Mhm.
fault her for saying cancel the thing because she didn't get to
Right.
Yeah.
meet them,
Yeah.
because that's wrong. That's action bad number one. You didn't get to meet who you wanted to meet, so the other 20
All
some
right,
thousand of us
Karen.
shouldn't have a situation because of that, right?
Hmm.
And then to not take the video down because now you have clout. And what sucks even more is like how you did this because of your feelings, and you hurt like the people who were like, hey, I can attest. I think I kind of said this to Nate actually. I understand what it's like to create opportunities for people and then for that shit to blow it back in your face. And
Mhm.
then have the thought process of feeling like, should I even keep doing this? Like, should I even keep like creating connections or doing like the thing I love creating connections for people, collaborating with people, networking with people. I love it. Okay. So to be in this situation
Yes,
where things
Christian.
like that happens and you're like rethinking, like, should I even keep doing this? Should I even like
Hmm.
keep, and the fact that Mark said that that hurt his feelings, which I applaud him for being honest and vulnerable about that,
Mhm.
especially as a Black man, because that's normally not the stereotype is that y'all don't say nothing about how y'all feel. So I
Mhm.
love that he took that step and shared that. But it sucks to be in that situation like, hey, me and my friends created this space for us to be here, and it's our own
Exactly.
people that's hurting, you know?
Hmm.
Exactly. Every
And
time.
do you really think you're gonna be the one? Do you really think when you meet Berlisi, you're gonna be the one? Mm.
Oh my
How
God,
do
like
you?
that girl on the
Mm.
stage.
Yeah, I'm just like,
She,
come on
she
now.
was funny. She
You're
was
talk
funny. I liked
you're
her. She was
talking
funny.
about RDC's friends, some bros. You think the some bros are gonna appreciate you
What
talking
the hell
about
is
them like that?
that?
No.
Right.
It sounds like someone's fighting, like in the
Right? I'm
background.
like, not y'all
Venom, you
swinging on the
good?
girl. Hold on.
Destiny, what happened to your profile picture? I just realized that.
What's wrong with it? It's missing.
It's
It's all
gone.
right. But now we could talk about the merch and stuff. What did y'all enjoy about the exhibit hall where y'all can buy stuff? What y'all
See,
get?
somebody making all that noise. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm eating pizza. I'm sorry.
It's
You
Were you
you
okay.
were
we
you
in the pizza
fighting it?
box?
Were you fighting the pizza?
We'll never know because he's muted.
You get one slice or two.
I
Say
brought
so
some
one to me.
stuff.
so I got this Naruto rug. So I was like,
How are the
"Mm."
rugs? I really wanted to get
Do
one,
you
but I'm
remember
like,
the
I have no
creator's
place.
name? If y'all remember the creator's
I
name, make sure
tagged
y'all
him. I
plug it.
tagged everybody on
Well, say it here.
Instagram.
I'm gonna say, yeah, plug them here. You know.
I think it was Radish Rugs. Radish_rugs on Instagram.
Don't forget to put that in your
I
description.
got a few of their.
Yes, it was.
Look at all these content creators. I'm proud of y'all.
And
I'm trying. I'm still trying.
literally the moment after we said we want the Naruto rug, the people next to us said, "Oh, can we have the Naruto rug?" And they were like, "Oh, we just sold
Well,
it." I was like,
actually,
"Wrap it up.
actually,
Let me
to be
Hilarious.
let me put
honest,
my card in."
he was talking about getting it first, but he
Make
was
sure that
still
receipt
deciding
comes
whether
through.
he wanted to spend the money. But we said we got the
Yeah.
money, so
While
they
you
said,
thinking
"Do
about
it."
it, let's go get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Take the
Bro,
card out.
oh,
Hurry
to
up.
the left. I
Oh
also
Lord.
Tap
I
it. Tap the
also
card.
got this picture of Gamabunta from Naruto from Ain't period free, and it sure wasn't free. That was the most expensive thing I got. Um and I got the Zoro hoodie from the Soul King. If y'all don't know who he is, he's really
There's
popular.
nothing in there. I don't think.
And then I got like three pictures of, I think it was Powerpuff Girls, Kim Possible, and Avatar, and they're all black.
Oh
Period.
yeah.
And that was from HV_studios.
Mhm.
Hardcore
Period.
Vigilante.
Mhm.
Should I go next? I don't
You
know.
can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I got some Winnie the Pooh gibbets for my
Period.
Crocs from To the Ends.
What are those called?
Um, gibbets.
Gibbets? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got those. I got what did I get? I got the black Powerpuff Girl shirt, and I got a black Chun Li print from HV Studios. What? Who's the child? Oh, I'm sorry. Um, I got some prints from Gigi. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Christine, can you
Murakami.
do it?
Murakami.
Yes. I got some prints from her, and the person that designed the badges, Ozzy Oz the Virus, I got
Mm-hmm.
a painting of Desmond from him. So yeah, that's all I got. I think.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I went to Cultural Originals and they had fire clothes. And I had like originally went by there, took a picture and told hubby, give me a list of what you want. I thought he wanted one thing. Man sent me 4 things. So we bought like 2 bucket hats, 2 shorts. And I think they came with like masks or face coverings or whatever, or something like that. Um, and I had bought from Mint, who was on the podcast. I bought a picture for my daughter. It was oh goodness, what was her name? What was the name? Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Beautiful image. So I bought that, and then I had bought a Puzzles of Color puzzle, which was of the Goofy movie, right, with Powerline and the
Uh-huh.
kid, the son. And when we had the closing ceremony and I was gathering bags, I forgot it there, and
Oh
now it's
no.
gone. So I'll just have to buy another one online. But yeah, that was Puzzles of Color. And I bought some comic books. I don't have them in my hand right now, but when we do the podcast, I'll have that stuff ready to show. But I bought some comics from original comic creators that were in the exhibit hall all the way kind of by the meet and greet booths. So shout out to
Okay.
y'all.
Period.
Anyone else want to say something?
Oh, Jane's not here, but Jane was nice enough to buy me a Pokemon keychain.
Period.
Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah. Bree, go ahead. Sorry.
Nice.
yeah, and that's all I got was that because I was a little low, and Jane was nice enough to buy me that, which I appreciated. I
Shout
did
out
not
to
have.
Child.
her.
Bree showed me this Kirby keychain, right? And I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna get it. She got the last one. I said, Bree, get out my face.
She Speaking of Kirby, Bree, we was also in that video game section, and Bree whipped our behinds with that Kirby.
Oh,
Oh well.
Sebastian,
Okay.
didn't you get a shirt?
Yes, I got a
Oh.
shirt. I can't remember who I got it from. I got a
Did
shirt
you
and a
pay with a
hat.
card? Because usually you get like a receipt through your email or something. That's
It
what I
could
usually
be.
do.
Hold on, but I want to say
Oh, he
what
got
I
a hat
did.
from the Soul King.
Yeah, and I got a shirt from. What was their names? I want to say it was Users Not Losers or something on Instagram. Um, that did it. But I want to shout out Tasha from Married to the Real because she was handing out
Oh
Yes.
some of her
yeah.
self care
Yes.
line
Yes.
products,
Yes.
Yes.
and
Self
they
care,
were
self
really
love, LLC firm.
period.
Mhm.
They were really nice. You know, took pictures with us. So I want to shout them out. The smells
Spider-Man.
delicious. Um,
Mhm.
Did you
I
say
mean,
delicious?
it does. I got the
Eat
Some of
it.
them
cotton candy.
do. Like some of them do honestly smell really, really like yummy, like a nice pastry or like
Right, right.
Right.
something
But
you would want to let.
they have many scrubs on their website. I asked her about beard stuff and for ingrown hairs and stuff. She was like, we have all that. So go check them out
Send me a
to
link.
where's the card? Self care.
Self love.
Self care,
Self
self
love.
love, LLC.com. They also have a TikTok and Instagram. So go check them out.
Mhm.
Big
I
up
Period.
would like to
Tasha.
say, like, I want to ditto that on Tasha. She gave us like little gift bags with like some of her things in it, and they smell really good. I love the goat milk soaps, the bar
Hmm.
soaps that she does. And then I did, when you said shirt, I remembered I bought a shirt from Gigi Murakami as well. But I know you guys are talking about merch, but I want to see something before I have to head out.
Mhm.
It was so great to meet you guys, but it was hilarious. It didn't feel like I was meeting you guys for the first time. It didn't feel like I was like, it was like, hey, let me introduce myself to you guys. It just felt like we'd already known each other.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not a
And
person,
Yeah.
so
Especially because
yeah,
Elite was
sorry.
drunk when you first met us.
Oh, and he was
he
under
was
the
like
table.
a
Yeah,
little
you're
a
right.
little giggle
Goodie bug.
little
Destiny
giggler
was
on
gone
the
too.
end of the table. Yeah,
Excuse
she
me,
was
I was
also
not.
giggling when that mango apple bottle came up. Desi was like, Christine, and held out her glass.
I
Christine.
was like, hey.
But
And I
no,
want
no,
everyone
even
to know
not
Christine drank maybe 1/4 of that bottle and was gone.
no,
And
not
Oh,
gone,
God.
gone, not
Mm.
gone. I was just a little elevated. Okay, I at
You
least
was
was speaking English. But
you were
one of them
elevated
nights,
enough
I
to get
did
to
get
that party.
I was elevated enough
Ooh,
to safely get to that party. I
they
will
was
say
bringing
that
a lot of bottles to
the
that section, so I don't know.
I, okay. So, anyways, there was another night where I was just speaking Spanish, and that did happen. And it was funny because
Uh-oh.
the Uber driver was the only one that could understand me. Nobody else in the
Oh,
car could understand me. So it was funny. But no, not just like the meeting you guys then, but even when we met up for the podcast or even seeing on the floor or what have you. Um, it was great. It was great. Like just more reaffirming, about like my community and how amazing you guys are, and it's kind of like I know people are like, oh, this content creator is ABCXYZ, but it's like if you build it they will come, and you
Hmm.
guys are amazing people, very caring, very I like I tell you, I rag about the fact that you guys, or brag, not rag, I brag about the fact that you guys are friends, like
yes,
have numbers, talk to each other, hang out with each other virtually, even though you guys are not all living near each other. The fact
mhm.
that is getting married and invited a bunch of you guys to the wedding, I'm like, that is not common. I hope you guys really like take in the beauty of this friendship and the beauty of what you guys do together. And even when I saw y'all together, it was kind of like if somebody were to ask you guys, you like, oh, have you guys known each other for like a super long time? Or have you guys met? Some of you guys were meeting for the first time,
yes.
some of you guys
Right.
were
This was
physically
the first. That was the first time I met everybody in person,
right in
like
person. Yeah.
physically.
And I think that that's beautiful. And it was just, see, like when you guys came to the panel and like we had that look at each other when we saw the room. We're just
Hmm.
like, and then when
You know
you
I was
guys
gonna get you right.
when,
I wasn't about to let you do that. I was like,
when you
nah,
guys
hold on.
you guys were like, so what do you need, Christy? Because like I didn't have to say, and I feel like it's always an amazing thing when you can convey your feelings without having to say all of them, but just by a look, and you guys get it. And I feel like I just want to say thank you guys for being who you are and for showing out the way that you guys do, not just at the podcast, IRL, not just at the panel, but also, you know, when it comes to the streams and like I did create a safe space and I did set rules for the safe space, but you guys uphold those things and you guys help build the walls, and I built the foundation, you guys built the walls, and I want to thank you guys. So
Period. Because y'all know how I step about my sister.
Can I say one thing?
mm-hmm.
I was not expecting you to be that short.
Oh,
Here we go.
All right, so it was great talking to you guys.
I mean, I know most know, but Christine, where can they find you? Tell us, all that.
Oh yes. You guys can find me at iChristine on YouTube, and iChristine Games also on YouTube. Party Chat Podcast. We stream the podcast Mondays at 5:30 ish Eastern each Monday, and then the gaming channel. I normally stream like 3 to 4 times a week, and the reacts, it's like normally 2 or 3 videos pop in a week. So, VODs are going to be coming back on the gaming channel. I did drop Mortuary Assistant with Tasha. We recorded this a while ago.
Oh, I
and
see it.
And it was funny.
Shout out to hubby for editing that. I didn't get to look at comments because it came out while we were at DreamCon.
Oh,
excuse me.
I
DreamCon.
watched it while we was there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I tried to. I had my AirPods in, and that first scream scared me, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get back home.
She said, never mind.
Yeah. I'll wait till I get home.
Wait, before we end this, I have a question. But everything that has happened this weekend, will you be running it back next year?
Maybe.
Yes.
I will if y'all do it.
I'm gonna do it.
I have no choice but to go back, baby.
Right. I need to see
Mine is
my
a yes.
man.
I'm about to say I would like to go
What
back.
you said, Denim? Hold on.
Huh?
What Denim said?
I said I need to see my man.
Who
Everybody,
your man? Hold on.
everybody fighting. Oh, let
I know,
Yanni
the
in
fight.
before we leave.
What happened? Sorry.
yeah.
Denim
by the way, to let you know, they was cheating on Uno. I don't know.
Hello, be quiet.
Who was cheating?
Now-
You mean Denim? He wasn't saying Uno, so
I
He
would like to
wasn't.
say, I'm going back. I would like to have a vaccine press pass or something because I need to get in there and get some things.
yes.
going.
Oh my gosh, because
so-
when staff opening.
I will say that I did ask about the press passes, but that was after you guys broke up with me.
Huh?
That's what, because when I
Yeah,
got
that
you guys
never
got to-
happened.
you guys broke
It
up
wasn't a
with me.
breakup. It's a long what is it? A long distance relationship. That's
Long
what it
distance
is.
relationship. Okay. And so none of these ones said that they could keep it together to even get the press pass. So
Oh yeah, I could keep it together because
First of
I
all,
honestly don't care.
Christine,
you-
you know me, like I'm a folder.
girl,
No,
you were no, I don't want to hear that because when you and Yanni came over for the
Nah, Destiny
the-
nor Yanni could do it.
what was the thing? When y'all came over the curtain, what was that? The
when we
battle.
came for the battle, yeah.
And yeah, and you guys came to say hi, and Corey was right there. Y'all were not like losing your minds, like going crazy. So I think you would have been able to keep together.
There's a difference between Corey
I didn't know Corey
and then
was
there's
over
Mark.
there.
I'm sorry.
I could have met Corey.
But Christine, you
Okay,
can
we're
ask,
not gonna do that. We ain't
you
gonna
can
do
ask
that.
everyone in the group. If I see somebody, they're gonna get interviewed because they're gonna take a picture. When I met
this is-
Dylan, Dylan was my bro. He was like, "What's up, dude?" We became friends. I almost got in the Uber when
Yeah,
I met Mark.
I definitely told Dylan that he folded.
So I will say this because
yeah.
one of the things I wanted to do, but this like next year I would like to plan because I brought my mic to do it, but I wanted to do like interviews of people just on the exhibit floor, like just
Yes,
standing there.
I made the
Oh, that would be
questions,
cool, too.
and we never got to do it.
We never got to do it. So I will say next year, because if it is a situation where you're like, hey, for next year we'll do press, that it would have been great if I could have somebody go to the press conferences to handle press, but they scheduled the podcast meeting the same time as some of the press things. And so I didn't get to do that, So I would say next time, like we could talk for real. So next time, remind me if it's something that you want to do. And
then
I could
J-Dog
put you
will be there
down
next
as
time.
the
I will definitely let
Was
you
he
know
for real?
because
We
my
don't know.
plan currently is to apply for staff because I
Me
really want to
too.
help
Yeah,
my people out.
I want to help my peoples out.
That's a good. That would be
And when I say
amazing.
staff, I mean staff, not volunteers. I'm trying to get on the list.
They
Right.
Right.
do. So they do have like they'll start saying that they want help with like stuff. Maybe one of y'all could be in the press area, one could be in the other area to help, because I do feel like more help is needed. More help is needed for sure.
Definitely.
Yes,
Let me
I will
know.
be applying. I really want DreamCon to thrive. I had an
Right.
amazing time.
Period.
And I'm an
If I
amazing
do go
You have
interviewer.
to use the
next
bathroom?
year, like I'm just going for regular pass. I'm
And there's
just
nothing
gonna
wrong
go.
with that.
Right. You're just going for the
But thank
experience.
you everyone for coming to the podcast and talking about DreamCon 2023.
Woo!
We're
Woo!
all waiting
Woo!
for
Ah!
2024,
Ah!
but until
Ah!
then,
Woo! Ah!
it's peace out.
Ah!
Oh my gosh.
Woo!
Now
Ah!
dinner.
But yes, but thank you
Bye.
for everybody coming. Good
No
night.
problem.
Oh my God,
Good
Christine, don't leave
night.
though. Bye.
Oh my
But
God.
Bye.
Bye.